understanding
Can you
concept of love. Today, Jet Set Radio turns 20 years old. Congratulations to Jet Set Radio and everything it's accomplished.
Sega's best.
I have fond memories
dead
of playing that
series.
game at my Circuit City when I was younger. And that's about it. Never owned a copy.
Excuse.
Never actively went out of my way to play Jet Set Radio.
I
either.
love Jet Set Radio.
I mean, I can't say I
It's
never got out of my way.
frustrating.
Like, it was cool. Like, it was really fucking cool, right? But like, I never
It
like
was-
actually owned a copy, right?
It was the
love
second game I ever
people
played.
Who love Jet Set Radio.
I had everything. Like, I had an
It,
Xbox. I had an Xbox. I had a Dreamcast, right?
never
So I was
played
able to
Jet
play
Set
it, but I
Radio.
just never did.
It really invoked my my like art style later on. So I loved it.
I also believe today's the 20th anniversary of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 as well.
Oh, let me turn my
Is
AC
that
up.
is that actually true?
I believe so.
That game's 20 years old.
Yeah, dude, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is pretty fucking old.
Fuck.
Yo, one more
You know,
year we can take a shot for
I
it.
always.
Marvel
I
vs.
always,
Capcom
like,
2,
see-
Age of Heroes. Oh
I
no,
always
I'm
see
just
these things
retarded.
that are
It might have
like-
came out on like, it might have came out on like, on Dreamcast maybe. I don't know, because it came out February 24th, so not February. So I'm just retarded. But welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. We have we got a big cast today. I fucking hate it.
But why are you doing the welcoming now? It should have been done at the beginning.
like,
Hey,
ages ago.
listen. No one. This is why we have so many people. Don't ask.
Is this your
Okay.
first rodeo, bro?
All right, so it came out 20 years ago on the Dreamcast.
Are we going through this again?
Just making sure. Yeah, no, I'm making sure. All right, Jesus.
Why are we going through this again?
We keep going through this again. I'm just making sure.
Wait, I thought it came out 20 years ago, like in
20
like
years
an
ago.
arcade cabinet or something.
Oh yeah, well in the arcades it came out 20 years ago, but for the Dreamcast, like it's port to the Dreamcast.
Oh, did that come out 20 years
Wait,
ago?
port to the Dreamcast. That's the first port. What are you talking about?
Peter, I swear to God, I'll fucking stab your
What?
parents.
Wait, what are we? I'm so confused.
There's literally
Phil
nothing to
referred
use
to Marvel
about.
vs.
All right,
Capcom
so
3.
all right, cool.
Phil referred to
Came out
Jet Set
20 years
Radio as
ago.
Jet Set Radio when it came out as the port on the Dreamcast. And
No,
like,
I'm talking
that's
about I'm talking about
first
Marvel 2, you piece of shit.
No, we're talking about Peter.
Peter,
you're
Peter,
really
catch
fucking
up.
behind.
yeah,
Peter.
way to go, way to catch
Got
up,
fucking brain
dial
lag?
up, fucking idiot. Internet Explorer over here.
There's a lot of
Brain is like
people
a dial-up
talking.
modem. Like,
Yo, Microsoft
whatever.
Edge over
I
here.
can't keep track. There's a lot of people talking.
oh my God.
Microsoft Edge over here.
You gotta update.
Pete had to update.
Isn't
Pete had to update. That's the
I
problem.
need Pete
I
version
noticed you still haven't introduced any of
6.0.4.
us.
Well,
Oh yeah.
I mean, Mori's been
I
here
don't need an
before.
introduction.
Mori was on here last week. Mike's been on here, and Peter's
the
been on
bird.
here.
But
And
who's
then the
Mike?
usual suspects are me and Ann.
Hello.
I was gonna say technically
Hi,
we've all
I'm
been on
Mori.
here before.
Yeah, that's Mori. Like, we don't need introductions. People know who we are.
Phil.
You can't trust people to remember.
Can't trust people. I mean, you're right.
No,
you
no one
really
needs to
can't.
know the other guys.
Listen, man, we all sound the same over recording it. No one knows the difference.
My God.
Well, they know
we
when
do
you're
kinda
talking,
sound
you
the
have
same.
the echo. At least for me, I don't know.
Wait, we didn't check this. Am I actually coming in clear?
You are.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
good, 'cause
everything's been fine.
I'm just
You're
not used to
stupid.
seeing my audio not spike when I speak.
Wait,
Well, that's
Peter's here?
because you're not screaming it.
Wait, Peter's here
Trust
the
me, we'll
entire
get you
time.
there.
Hopefully it never happens.
Peter's been disguised as Mori the entire time.
Oh, you're so tall and hairy, Peter.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So look it over the docket. I guess we'll start with the first thing to be tackled.
What the fuck is it?
How was everyone's week? How did everyone do in the past couple weeks?
Persona 5.
Yeah,
Persona-
that's right. Yeah,
Persona
so
4.
how are you liking it? Like, how are you liking Persona 5? Because I love that.
I fucking love this
Game's really good.
Phil, why did you send it to Ant's house?
I didn't.
Oh, no,
I
no, that
didn't.
wasn't
I
Phil,
didn't,
that
I
wasn't
didn't.
Phil.
It wasn't me.
That was Juan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotcha.
Ant was like, Phil, did you send me Persona? I'm like, motherfucker, I don't even send like
Dude,
myself
it was
anything.
on
like, hello?
stream. It was so funny.
How do you,
It
how do
was
you even
so
buy
fun.
myself games? Like, what do you think I bought you like a $60 game for?
Well, because I knew that you wanted to play it on the channel, so my thought process was that you were like, well, I'm just gonna buy the game so that you could just.
I was thinking
have
about, I
it
was talking
there.
about buying it digitally, but hey, I guess it worked out.
Yeah. Well, it's because I was talking with Juan about like how I started playing Persona 5, and he's like, dude, wait till Royal comes out, and I'm like, no, I want to like keep playing. And he's like, well, I bought you Royal, so...
There's
what
a
a
couple
nice
of
guy.
few different things between Royal and the original version.
Yeah, I've heard.
But my friends played through all of Royal. They seem to really like it, so I'm very excited to play it. As I keep saying, it's coming. I promise you.
I've been playing Persona 4.
That's right. We were talking about that yesterday. What are you up to in Persona 4 actually?
I'm in the middle of Kanji's dungeon. And I'm
get ready.
I'm gonna have to rush through it soon because I'm running out of time.
That boss fight fucked me a little bit. Wasn't very fun at first, but like when you realize the gimmick, you get through it. Kanji, really fucking cool. Kanji's the band. Kanji's cool.
I'm not excited to have to deal with more party members.
Oh, come on, B. Come on. It's like you never played an RPG before. Step up.
I like these guys.
Step up.
Listen, it's better in Persona 5 because you fucking hate Morgana.
Yes. I can
And you're
go
really
on,
happy to get Yusuke.
So you know how I can go on a tangent about One Piece for like a good chunk of time? I could go on about how much I hate Morgana for like a month. Like in a month I'll still be
impressive.
talking about it. It's wild. I fucking ugh.
What about you, Mori? What have you been playing?
Yeah, what's up, Mori? What have you been playing?
I've just been playing The Last of Us. I'm playing it right now, actually.
That's right.
Not for the story, just for the gameplay. Cause
For the port,
I
for
will
the straight
have
port.
to I will have to actually kind of.
It's a porn game. You don't play it for the story.
Oh, that's right. I will have to like
Joel and
if Mori's over and brings his PS5, PS4, and we're like finished doing whatever, I'll watch him play it because I feel like I don't want to go out of my way to spend $60 on that game. I kind of want to like mooch off with some money to
I mean,
play
I
because I
would
just don't want to
definitely-
spend that money.
I would definitely do a playthrough of it. I'd love to. I mean, it's a fun game outside of the story. I mean, the story frustrates me, sure, just like everybody else. But I feel like everything that happened in the game, like I'm okay with everything that happens in the game. I'm not okay with how it was presented. They could have done a lot of things differently with Joel. But as far as everything else that happened, like with Abby and her inclusion and everything else, especially like I never had any issue with the transgender character at all, which isn't Abby, by the way.
Oh, okay. I'm like, is that what happens?
Yeah, no, Abby's not the
actually.
transgender character. She's just a very muscular woman, and she identifies as a woman. It's a different character entirely, and I personally love the whole inclusion of it, because essentially it's a character named Lev who is in this religious cult as a child, and you still meet him as a child in the game, and Lev was first named Lily. He was a woman, or he was treated as a woman, and so he was supposed to be somebody's wife in the cult, and then he didn't want to identify himself that way because he didn't like it, and he ended up shaving his head and going by Lev, and the cult absolutely hated him for it, and he became the apostate, or the forbidden one, and like he's just kind of just been running around with his sister, killing his own cult members, trying to survive, and Abby and Lev essentially become like the new Joel and Ellie, which I really like. But when you do what you did in the game, it's hard to make Abby likable. So they should have, they really should have done a better job of choosing when to let you play as her and when to play as Ellie. But yeah, the game is really fun. Like they make Abby fun to play as and distinct from Ellie. Ellie's more of like the stealth character. She's a real fucking predator, whereas for Abby, she's more of just like a brawler type. Essentially you just throw a bottle at someone, knock someone out, then knock the next person out, and you just keep chaining that. It's really fun.
Okay, that's kind of cool. That's cool. Good to know that like you're like enjoying it despite everything kind of going on with that game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like
Which is
people
fair.
are really butthurt about Joel dying, and trust me, I am too. But like,
Damn, you're really just gonna drop that, huh?
Bro, everyone knew about
I
it.
know,
everyone
but,
knows
like,
at this
just
point.
such a.
Should I have included spoiler?
Nah, you're good. You're
spoiler
good.
warning?
It's funny.
All
Just
right.
like, hey, by the way,
It's okay, Maury.
I mean, like,
game's been out
from
for, like,
what I
literally a month
heard,
almost, right?
from what I heard, like, there's no build up to it. Like, it just kind of happens, and you're like, oh
there
well.
really
it sucks.
isn't a good build up to it.
Yeah,
it's kind of criminal actually. But as
That's
far as
what-
everything
I
else,
actually just love all the memes behind it.
I love
There's
the
some
memes
good
too.
ones,
They're pretty
dude.
funny.
I love I love like the sex scene of all the crudely
Yeah.
drawn versions of Take
I've
on
seen
Me's
that
going
really
in the
meme to
background.
hell.
Like that fucking kills me.
Yeah.
Like that absolutely kills me. Or the one where the kid gets punched.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
good
yeah.
one. Just the. There's some good ones. I know it's like very. I know a lot of people have been like kind of doing like comparisons from like from Metal Gear Solid 2, because when that game came out, everyone's like, "Oh, this is fucking stupid. I don't want to play as him. I don't want to play as Raiden."
Yeah,
and then
it's almost
after
exactly like that actually.
yeah, and then after a couple of years, everyone goes, "Huh, maybe Metal Gear Solid 2 wasn't so bad."
I honestly, I really truly think that this game would have done much better if the story wasn't leaked
Yeah.
like before the game
I
came
can feel that.
Because I think that made everyone super fucking tense, and they're like, "Oh god, I hope that this doesn't actually happen." And then
That it
you know,
happens.
Of course it
it
happens.
Also, I'm also not the
and they're
biggest
just
fan
like,
of
"This is the
of
worst
the what
thing
the
ever."
of the what's his face, Neil Druckmann. Not the biggest fan of him.
Yeah.
Like it's people like Neil Druckmann that make me want game development be unionized, because what he does or like what companies do like
yeah,
that.
he
like,
isn't he like super into cram culture?
Oh yeah, the crunch.
Yeah,
The
Or
crunch
crunch
time?
culture. That's
Yeah,
what
crunch,
it's called.
no,
like-
it's the same thing. It really is.
Yeah, like crunch
It-
time
it
is like
is
the thing that no
really-
development team wants to hear like ever.
Oh yeah.
and
it's
It is
the worst.
real at Naughty Dog. It really
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I couldn't
It's-
believe
Everybody
it.
does.
it's
Like Konami
ridiculous.
does it. Like, but it's just,
Well, the thing is that like the director of Last of Us, which is the guy that you're talking about,
Yeah.
is like big into it, but then like the director of Uncharted is like way against it.
yeah, and you can
Yeah.
and it shows, and it really shows.
Yeah, it shows because Uncharted is a much better game series.
Yeah, you know. So
Say what you will about Uncharted 4, but I fucking loved it.
I
Yeah.
love Uncharted 4. I don't know why anyone would have a problem with Uncharted 4, personally.
know.
I thought it was a great game.
I think the only thing that people really complained about was that like they shoehorned in a brother for Nathan Drake, which was just kind of strange, but like
Yeah.
whatever. It's fucking
fine.
it's Indiana Jones. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
I'm just glad that they
Not
didn't
indie.
try and pull
Listen.
like a whole like emotion grab, like Nathan Drake dies at the end.
Yeah, they gave him a kid. That's what I like.
I like that. And they didn't kill him off.
Yeah, thank
They
God.
didn't just murder him.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a firm believer about there's only 3 Indiana Jones movies. The 4th one doesn't count.
I was convinced by the end of Uncharted 3 that they were gonna kill off Sully, and I was so scared.
I don't want to hear
Yeah, even that
anymore. I
fucker
still plan to
lived.
play the Uncharted games.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. That fuck
Have
out
the
of here.
collection.
Hey,
game's like
hey
5,000
Peter,
years
guess what? The game's over a decade old.
I
Yeah.
know, but I haven't played it yet.
I mean,
alright?
I
Whatever,
think
you'll
the Nathan
forget
Drake
by the time
collection
you
is
get to it.
Pretty old. I mean, like cheap too, like on PS4 or even on like.
It's free.
Oh, is it free?
That's why I said I'm gonna play
Yeah,
it
the
soon.
trilogy is free.
Oh my
It was.
god.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
It was free
Oh.
like a month ago. Not anymore.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't know, the Steam sale's going on
What's
right now.
free?
Is it
What's
on
free
Steam?
right
No.
now? Something's free right now. I don't remember.
Dude,
Something
having
on my
a computer is so wild because I'm sitting here thinking, oh, like, oh, is this game on PC? No, oh, that's weird.
No, PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, that's right, I'm stupid.
It's alright, bro.
It sucks.
In a-
It
in a-
sucks, right? Because like
well-
I have so much shit I have to do, like with my PS4 and stuff sometimes.
Well,
And
some-
I'm like, do I
some
want
of
to play
them-
this game? And I don't want to like unplug the HDMI port from my tower to my PS4 and you keep doing that. So I'm like, eh.
Some of them are on PlayStation 3, and you can just use a PlayStation 3 emulator if you want to.
That's cool. Oh,
And
cool.
like, I'm sure that there's going to be a PlayStation 4 emulator in a few years from now.
yeah.
So,
Speaking of PlayStation, how about the PlayStation 5, everybody? Let's start with that. So let's go.
It looks
off
like
the
a
It
big
is
harmonica.
the hottest console waifu ever.
dude, that guy has a collar popped, and I don't know how everyone else
it
feels
is the
about
hottest
but,
running
like,
console.
There's an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond where his mother makes a
Gets the
sculpture,
PS5.
and the entire episode they're like, should we tell her that it looks like a vagina? And I'm not saying the PS5 looks like a vagina, but the top.
I
of it
think
looks
I think
like the
what
top of
what
the
you're saying is,
sculpture.
Peter, that it looks like a vagina. Throwing that out there. Just gonna throw that out there. I think you can
I'm
think
saying
it.
it looks
I mean, I've seen.
it
it
Dude,
looks
the
like
PS5
that
is
side
pogging
comparison,
at you. Like, how can I not
and it is
like that?
compelling.
I saw the Shadman picture. Like it is.
I
It's
fucking
very,
hate
very compelling.
you. But no, so I don't mind it. It's all right.
Yeah, it could've
Like,
been worse.
it could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
I
some-
honestly don't. I don't.
You know, it could be the fridge.
Oh, the fridge. I love the fridge.
Dude,
I honestly
love that. Like,
don't mind the design at all. I don't.
I
I,
saw-
don't even dislike the design.
I saw
It's
people
fine.
being like, "Man, I can't believe that Xbox won this one." I'm like, "It's a brick.
Are you
The
kidding
Xbox Series
me?
X is a brick."
Did they
Fuck
watch-
you.
Are people literally saying that? Because
have
I'm
seen it,
literally
yeah.
hyped for nothing on the Series X.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
did
really
you-
funny.
did
I
you
saw-
watch- Did you watch
The
that?
day the PS5 was announced, I saw a bunch of people tweeting about that, and then I didn't see it ever again. But I literally saw that people saying that they thought the Series X won the design, and I'm like, fuck you.
Oh, design-wise? I don't really care about design.
No, it's a-
I don't care about the
it's a-
design,
The
dude.
brick?
It's a block of Gouda cheese. It's not anything
I don't
fucking...
care about
I don't know
the
what
design.
fucking Gouda cheese you're looking at, but I'm pretty sure it's not
I don't know.
black.
I don't know my cheeses.
Bad cheese.
I don't.
That's a
So
rotten
I really
cheese.
don't care
Bad
about the
cheese.
design overall because I just want to see what next gen can do, and the PS5 showed what it can do. And
Can
that's
it
all
hold
I
up
cared
to
about.
the PC?
It has
yeah.
ray tracing. It has global illumination.
Like,
It has instant terrain generation.
And it's
Memes.
got Spider-Man.
it does. So that
Yeah.
game is standalone. That is a standalone Spider-Man game.
And it's also
Right,
yes, it
microwave.
is.
I can't believe it was even a fucking debate.
Dude, I wasn't.
I can't believe that people thought that that wasn't going to be a standalone game. Like, people thought it was going to be DLC. It's like, are you stupid? Are you
Damn.
fucking stupid?
Dude.
Mike
Of
course
Mike
it's
out
gonna
here
be a
just throwing
standalone
it out.
I
later.
literally
People
was-
are so dumb.
I was watching the
Honestly.
reveal, and I was like, hey,
DLC.
I'm probably not gonna get it day one, because, like, I just don't think I will, unless there's something I really want, which so far there isn't. And then it shows the trailer for Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I'm like, I guess I'm getting
That
it
was
day
the
one.
strongest thing they started out with. They're like, hey, by the way,
There are a few things I'm really excited for.
Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I'm like, okay. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. I love that. Then we got the new
Unfortunately,
Ratchet and
that was
Clank game.
one of the best trailers that was there.
What'd you say?
Unfortunately, that was just one of the best trailers that was there, though. I wasn't really
There was
hyped
that.
for much.
There was.
I'm excited for Ratchet and
There,
Clank.
there was
you were
Ratchet
really
and
happy
Clank,
about
dude.
Outworld.
That was
I
really
was.
cool.
That was the other thing I liked.
Yeah, I'm
That was
excited
really
for
cool.
Ratchet and Clank.
There
Yeah,
was.
I want to play Ratchet and Clank
There
as
was
well.
another,
There are
like, I
honestly
think
a
an
lot of
indie
things I
title,
saw that I was
something
hyped
Little
for.
Devils, that had, like, a sign that said
Yeah, Little Devils looks really
that had, like,
freaking
some
awesome.
Schmeat in the background, you know, Schmeat.
What was that?
Little Devils is like if you took Psychonauts and Monster Hunter and
Yeah.
fused them together.
Yeah.
It is,
not
it is
gonna-
Little
It
Devils,
looks
right? Like,
really
it's something.
promising. Yeah.
I'm not gonna
It's
I'm not
something
gonna
Little
play it,
Devils.
but I'm glad to see that Little Big Planet is still around.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh,
it was cute.
Super
I-
Sackboy 3D World.
I just hope that it has the Little Big Planet creation, and it's not just, as Ant just said, like Super Mario 3D World with Sackboy. You
Yeah.
know, it has to have the creation. That's what makes Little Big Planet Little Big Planet.
Right. That's what I mean. I'm glad.
What
that
if they
still
like?
have
What if they like somehow
I hope you
combine
can
like
still slap
3D
people
World
in
with
Little
like
Big Planet.
Drawn to Life? In the way, in a kind of way.
I love Drawn to Life. Drawn to Life was eclipsed by freaking Scribblenauts, though.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember in high school trying to figure out like what you could make in Scribblenauts.
I'm trying to look at all the games that are going to be on there.
Type this in, and then like if you typed in Spider-Man, just random superhero would pop in. You're like, oh.
So,
I'll go over all the games that I'm really hyped
Yeah,
for.
so
I was
my,
hyped
me
as-
and my
as we've
coworker-
What was
discussed.
that one?
me and my coworker saw one of the trailers.
Or not, I guess.
And he was like, Resident Evil 8, here it is. And I kept looking, I'm like, yep, it's Resident Evil 8, 100%. And
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god. I was like, holy shit, this game looks kind of wild.
Fucking Fridge Chris.
Dude, I love swole ass Chris. You have no idea. I love it.
Fridge
He's
Red
just
Field.
ginormous. I had to do it, Ethan. Oh god, why?
Mike, what was your theory about about him trying to get Ethan to be the next Red, or rather, the to birth
Oh,
Redfield, something like that?
the fucking the Redfield bloodline where it's like Chris shows up, shoots presumably Ethan's girlfriend, and he's like, why? And it's like, Leon said no to doing it with Claire, so you're the next one. Like the Redfield bloodline has to
Oh
remain
my-
strong.
Oh my god, that's funny. That's pretty good. Ghostwire Tokyo looks really cool.
But
That looks really cool. Yeah, I'm kind of.
Yeah, Mike?
I'm iffy about Ghostwire.
That's fair.
It looks okay.
It's like Fatal Frame, but with like Skyrim magic.
yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yo,
I
did
need
you-
to see more.
Did you see Destruction All-Stars? That really weird, like...
That actually looks like a
that
fun
little,
co-op game.
Like, little fighter racing
That looks
game?
really
Like,
fun.
that looks really cool. I was really hyped about that.
Yeah, you like run over your friends.
Yeah,
like-
that's pretty... Also, okay, so I don't
No,
know.
but-
I don't know if I talked about
but-
it before.
Hold on, Phil.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
I just want to say a few other things.
All right.
really excited for Ratchet and Clank.
Me too.
Solar Ash looks really cool
Is that-
because it's like a skating platformer
I'm excited
with
for
really
that,
cool visuals.
I did see that.
That was the Hyperlight Drifter one, right?
Yes,
I'm excited
yes.
for that.
They showed like 5 seconds of
that,
it. But yeah,
that
it looks so
astronaut
cool.
Death Stranding looking ass game.
I was
Oh,
talking.
the-
I was
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
that
that
was
was gonna be like the Death Stranding DLC or like Death Stranding 2. It's just on the moon. I'm like, well, okay.
That looked like it had Hideo Kojima all over it, but it's made by Capcom.
Made by
Yeah,
Capcom,
it's
yeah.
kinda
Oh, it's a
strange.
Capcom game. Okay, that's interesting. What about
Yeah.
Oddworld? Oh,
Yeah, I was
Oddworld
so
is back,
hyped.
dude.
I was
Pretty
so
cool.
happy for that.
I was very excited. It looked really nice. And okay, I don't know if I talked about it because like I don't think I talked about it on the last one, but as soon as I saw the scraggly skeleton man, demon man, by the dragon, I had to have my coworkers
yeah.
hold me because it was Demon Souls remaster, and I was fucking flipping out. Holy shit!
I think I heard you screaming from my house.
I
when
was
fucking
100%.
watched
Can
it.
guarantee that was me. Couldn't be anyone else. I am so excited for Demon Souls. It's probably my favorite out of the Soulsborns, next to Bloodborne. And holy shit, I just fucking can't wait. It's done by the Blue Point guys. They have a good track record. They did the Nathan Drake collection. They did Shadow of Ant's least favorite game. I just
Yeah.
Shadow of Ant's least favorite game. Yeah, dude. If you didn't know,
Correct.
we made an hour-long
You know, if you
video
didn't
on
know
it.
that Shadow of the Colossus
We made an
is a
hour-long
garbage
video
game.
on it. Can confirm.
It was a half hour.
Oh, okay, it was 20 minutes.
Could have been an hour.
Could have been an
They had to
hour.
hold
It could have been an
himself
hour
back.
if I
Holy shit.
really went in deep.
And I just, fuck, man, I just can't wait. I can't wait to play Demon Souls
Hearing-
again. I'm gonna
Bottle-
cry. I'm
Bottle's
gonna cry
hearing,
talking about it, dude. Holy shit.
Bottles hearing Phil scream about Demon Souls from his house has the same energy of Bottles hearing me scream in anger from my house at the Kingdom Hearts
Oh,
Valley
yeah.
of Memory reveal.
Yeah.
Loser.
canon
Everyone pointed
Kingdom
at
Hearts
everyone
rhythm
pointed
game.
at Peter and laughed.
Anger. What the worst part is, I'm not even angry that it's a rhythm game. I'm angry that it's a canon rhythm game.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Peter
I'm
says
just-
to
Come
his
on,
unborn
it's
son.
fucking Nomura,
I'm just
dude.
upset that
Everything's
it's-
canon.
Oh, I know, but you know, every time you always have a shred of hope. Just a
Nah.
shred of hope. No.
You can never hope with Nomura.
My coworker.
There's no hope with
my
no
coworker.
Nomura.
So my coworker doesn't mind because he like enjoyed the other rhythm game that came out for Final Fantasy, but I know it's not the same thing. Also, he
Yeah.
brought up that he wishes it wasn't Horizon Zero Dawn, but Horizon One Dawn, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut up. I'm gonna kill you. I hated it.
We have updated to have one extra dawn.
One whole dawn. Just looking at the other
Horizon Zero.
stuff. There's
Don't spend it all in one place.
don't spend it all in one place.
0.2 Remix Dawn.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
0.2 Final Mix Dawn.
Oh my god.
Pre-alpha
Horizon-
Dawn.
There's
Zero
that Gearbox game called Godfall. It's looking pretty cool.
Oh yeah, God.
It
Or
was teased a
looter
while ago
slasher.
as like a GIF,
Yeah.
just of like
Yeah.
some
Just
dude
monster.
chill like doing whatever. But it looks pretty cool. I like it. You know, some
Yeah,
like
Godfall does look interesting.
some third person
That's the
stuff
one
going
thing
on
that
there.
I didn't like is how Gearbox was talking about how they're like, this is something that's never been done before. We're trying to make a looter slasher, and it's like,
Yeah.
what about Monster Hunter?
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
like what?
It's an action RPG, you know, as they are.
It looks cool.
Fucking
It's
really
another
great.
thing that I got to see more of, though. You know?
It actually could be a little different from Monster Hunter Beat, like in just terms of like it might be like an intense slasher.
Yeah, I mean, like what they probably mean as like a
Like a
looter
hack and
slasher.
slash.
They might try to mix like just like the aspects of
Just in the
aspects of
sense of, like,
Borderlands
they're
and
trying-
stuff
they're-
like together.
Yeah, they're saying that they're like revolutionizing this kind of fucking gameplay loop, and it's like it's a gameplay loop that we've seen in Monster Hunter. You cut down enemies, then you get loot, and that's the gameplay loop. You know, you just do that. over and over
I mean,
again.
I would also have to see more. I don't know if it's like a free, like a free roam. I don't know if it's like objective based, like in I'm gonna say Borderlands because it's the best thing I can compare to sort of right now. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
like you just go to an area and it's like linear. Like we don't know. Like we're just gonna have to wait for it to come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bandai Namco's making I think another Code Vein like game called Scarlet Nexus, and it looks pretty cool. Like I mess with it. I fucks with it. It's like another anime game, so I'm kind of excited just to see how it is because I didn't play Code Vein So I want to see if this is any good or looks any good, and it does look really cool. Like it's weird plant monsters.
The most hyped game of the year is definitely Bug Snacks, though.
Wait, hang on. Before we get to that great game, can we talk about Kina, Bridge of Spirits, for a second?
Oh, that one looks cool too. That's like freaking Okami to me.
It's like Okami if it was a little girl instead of a fox.
Was it Bridge of
And
Spirits?
Pikminish.
Yeah, it's Kina. It's not Okami. What are you
Yeah,
talking
it was the game with that little girl. She was like getting trash talked by that freaking Asian guy, and then she had some little tiny like.
She discovers the black
fuzzballs
Pikmin.
follow her around.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I got you. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Do you, yeah.
No.
I know that Square Enix is making a game for the PS5. It just has a code name right now.
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh my god!
It's Final
Shit.
Fantasy X remake.
It's Final Fantasy 15
Oh,
remake.
God.
Come on,
I
guys,
can't
that's
wait
not
to see
funny.
fucking
Those already
Titus laughing
exist.
It's
4K.
Final Fantasy 13. Lightning is never dying.
It's Final Fantasy 13 versus you stupid idiot.
It's
Oh, it's versus 13, whatever the
13
fuck.
dancing
No.
all night.
Final
Oh
Fantasy
my god!
13
Yo,
versus
alright,
remake.
hold up. If they made a Final Fantasy dancing game after what they showed in FF7 Remake, I'd buy it.
No, I wouldn't.
I'd
Are
buy
you kidding
it.
me?
Are
You
you
want the
kidding
buttons
me?
to
Yo.
be at the angle of the camera?
Yo, are you kidding
Instead
me?
of facing the camera?
Bro, Cloud had some dance moves for
Yeah,
her.
but like I could barely read the button.
Who cares? Like, just don't be dumb.
It's a rhythm game. Okay?
Just don't be stupid.
Who cares if I can barely play the game?
And you, not and. Pete,
Looks
you
like
want my glasses?
somebody hated the Little Mermaid
I can
section of
see
Kingdom
the
Hearts.
Game.
You want my glasses so you can see the buttons?
I can see it, Phil, but they put them at a fucking 90-degree angle.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not stylish. It's dumb. That's what it is.
Bro, how are you gonna sit
But the
there?
animations
How are you
were
gonna sit
great.
there and tell me how are you gonna sit there and tell me that they put a Yakuza segment in a Final Fantasy game? You're gonna be like, oh,
I'm not
read
complaining
I can't
about
read
the whole
button.
section. I think it's great. I just think they shouldn't have stylized the buttons.
Oh my fucking god! Here we go.
Leave one thing unstylized. Fuck.
I-
Damn it, Nomura.
I
Why
don't
can't
like.
you let
I
the
don't like.
simplest thing
I don't
go?
like that I'm bad at video game.
Oh my god.
No, fuck it. I don't know, man. But I don't know. PS5 looks pretty cool. I'm very excited. I know some prices of it being leaked over the course of a couple of weeks, or is it one of them? Was the non-disc version is gonna be $4.99, and the disc? Oh no, wait, was it? No, the disc version was $4.99. The non-disc version is $3.99, which is pretty fucking
Yeah.
wild if that is true.
What sucks is I kind of want to go for the disc version because I know I'm gonna get like a collector's edition, and then suffer because I don't have a disc slot.
I mean PS5. I mean like not PS5, but like physical things are nice. Like I still like getting physical stuff.
Well, like anytime if they release like say, which it won't be, but like whatever the next like main like actual Kingdom Hearts game is, and they release it and there's a collector's edition, I'm gonna want that collector's edition, but it's physical and not digital,
Oh yeah.
and then I'm gonna suffer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm looking at something right now. Apparently, it's supposed to come out in North America and Europe on November 20th, 2020, and the price seems to be about $4.99. So $500, if that's true, not bad. Like, that's about what the PS5 cost. I'm fucking stupid anyway. That's what the PS4 I think cost around that time. The first came out was like about like 500, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Or I wasn't sure if I lost anybody. I was like, uh-oh.
No,
I'm
we're
like,
still
ruh-roh.
no, we all left you, Phil. It's just
Damn, that's
you.
that's nuts.
Phil, you've actually been talking to yourself for the past like
You have to let us
20,
go,
30
Phil.
minutes.
It's not your fault.
The accident wasn't
Yeah,
the
Phil, let
accident.
us
The
go.
accident wasn't your fault. So I wake up in
Oh
an
my
insane
God.
asylum. I wake up from a coma.
Could you imagine how fucking like terrifying that would be?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's happened to like a dozen people in their lifetimes.
Do you like have an irrational fear of that? Because I do.
I mean, listen, that gets into a whole like other types of shit.
Quite oddly, I have an irrational hope for it, actually.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I kind of hope that we're in the Matrix, because it just keeps getting worse every fucking
Basically
year.
what I said.
Fair enough.
Okay, I got it.
There's just some fucking troll that's just like, and then this happened.
No, like I just hope that like I wake up one day. I don't even want to be the one. That sounds like a lot of work. I just want to wake up.
I don't want to be the chosen one. I just want to just wake up.
I just not want to be in here. I want to be in the fucking orgy rave at Zion. That's what I want to be in. Hey.
Jesus. But yeah, so PS5's looking kind of cool. I'm probably still gonna get it regardless. And find a place to put it because it has a popped collar. It's pogging at you. Apparently, it looks like it looks like a vagina to Pete. Like I don't know. Like,
It looks like Kaiba.
yeah, it does look like Kaiba. There's some good ones. Like it looks like Kaiba. It looks like Doofenshmirtz. I saw that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a place for this moment. Hopefully by then I will have.
It does look like
I
it,
love the
it does
Kaiba
look
one.
like it could lay on like instead of standing up on the like on its bottom, but it can looks like it's only can do that on the stand, which I'm like.
Oh, dude, I gotta say, I have a really
flat.
funny story actually. I have a really funny story.
About laying
that.
flat?
Me and my brother were arguing about like, because I told him I was like, oh, it looks like it's built. It looks like it's built more to stand up because like they advertise it that way and the shape just looks better standing up per se. But like, because we had our PS4, our PS3 on its side, and my brother did the same with the PS4, but I have mine standing up. But like, I was telling him, I was like, well, he's like, if it was meant to stand up, then the logo would be facing like vertically. I'm like, well, Richie, you can turn the logo on the PS3. And he's just like, no, it's facing this way, and he wasn't listening to me. And then he's like, look, it's facing this way, and I reached over with my hand and turned it sideways, and then he just turned it back, and he's like, look, see, it was meant to.
Get fucked.
I just silently reached over and went.
Did you just crush your brother's dream super quick in like the span of 2 seconds? Just
Because I remember watching the Did You Know game. Where it's like, did you know you can? I'm like, oh shit, really? And then it came in handy now.
You could do it on the PS2. You could do it on the PS2 too. You can switch it around.
Oh man, it's just such a funny, just silently.
But yeah, I don't know. I might get the disc version. I don't know how I feel about getting the non-disc version.
I just don't think I'm ready to I get only digital on my Switch now, but I don't think I'm ready to commit.
You don't want to commit. You don't want to like
PS5,
it's like facing the ideals that games will never have manuals ever again.
Sad.
Yeah, but when you open it, you get a sick ad for another game now.
You do, right?
Yeah,
hold on.
in a
Yo,
pamphlet
hold
with all
on.
legal
Hold on.
No, they
shit.
just pay the players that played through it the first time to do it.
I haven't even opened my copy of Disgaea 1 Complete. Oh my god, hold on.
Yeah, on the inside of the PS4 version of Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 2.5 Remix, there's an ad for Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, and an ad for World of Final Fantasy. So now we get sick ads. Oh, and there's more ads on the
Yay, more
inside
ads.
for the canon mobile game of Kingdom Hearts and the Dragon Quest Builders.
I actually got an advertisement for Labyrinth of Refan for my Disgaea 1 Complete. Good stuff. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
I love Bottles. I remember when you messaged me the other day, by the way, when you were like, another canon mobile game for Kingdom Hearts. They made another one. I'm like, no, it's just a sequel. It's literally on the same app. It's not.
Yeah, because I was watching like the Kingdom Hearts 2020
yeah.
like thing, and I was like, "There's another mobile game, you fuckers."
No, it's just an add-on. Although, funnily enough, they decided, hey, you know what everybody loved that we should bring back in the mobile game? The Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories card gameplay. That'll be great. Fuck you.
I mean, it was interesting, I think.
Oh, Mori,
yeah, same
fuck
here.
it. You would, Mori. I just...
Bro, coming from someone who plays card games, I thought that was red.
Listen, I'm not a card game player, and I'm not a fan of it, but it was different.
Trying to fully optimize your build, like, come on, man.
Your deck.
I'm gonna end up letting myself actually play through the entire game as I am now soon. And I will maybe I'll change my opinion. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Probably
fair.
won't. Probably won't.
Okay, but how about now? Crash 4 taking a segment out of the Digimon movie and just kind of just saying, "Hey, Crash 4, it's about time."
Oh my god, Crash!
All right,
got
boys.
him.
Crash 4, Angela Anaconda. Yeah, I love.
Crash 4, it's
Oh my
about
God,
time.
The perfect
Wink.
crossover.
Christ.
I
4, Angela Anaconda.
I am so fucking happy about Crash 4.
It looks really good.
It looks
It
fun.
looks so good. Apparently, there's like gonna be over like 100 fucking levels in this game.
That's nuts.
I know. And there's microtransactions.
Oh, is there? Let's go.
Yeah, there actually is.
Let's
You
go.
can buy new shorts for Crash.
Can I
Hooray!
buy different shorts for Crash Bandicoot?
No.
Oh, come on.
The-
Then why would you
Yeah.
lie to me?
Such a fucking like small detail that's really fucking stupid that I just love a lot is like, you know, they introduce like more masks into this game that have like different abilities. Like one like slows down time, one is like a wall run or like anti-grav. And like every time you pick up a new mask, they have like their own version of like
That's cool. But what about the thumbnail for the trailer? That's with Crash's eyes are in 2 different directions.
I mean, that's just
I know,
Crash,
but
man.
it's
Crash is,
funny. I like it.
it's great.
No, no, it's very
is
exciting.
Crash Pennywise?
What? But yeah, I'm mad excited for Crash 4. Like that trailer came out and I was like screaming in my car when I was watching it.
Same energy as me and Phil.
Honestly,
A lot of us have been screaming.
we've just been screaming.
It's on the tennis ball that's like, let's fucking go.
yeah.
Oh no, it's very exciting. I'm excited to I'm excited to
fight.
actually sit down and play it. Because
I'm
this
really
fight,
excited for Ratchet and Clank. I really want
So
to.
give it a little poke.
me too. I'm excited for both. I'm really excited for both.
I'm definitely gonna be drawing. That
And
game a while back.
dude, Ratchet.
I'm so surprised that it's coming so soon. The Crash 4.
Is it?
Oh
It's
yeah,
October.
Holy shit.
they already.
It's literally
well,
like
you can see
4
it,
months
like,
from now.
It's the same thing that I said about the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game. Is that when you watch the trailer for both games, it's like look at all this actual fucking gameplay, and it's like the end of the Kingdom Hearts one is releasing in 2020 after everyone has delayed other games already. So you know it's not going to be really delayed. So they probably have most of it done. And the same goes for Crash 4. It's like they showed all this gameplay and with pre-rendered stuff that they made.
Very
I'm like,
good.
and there's gameplay in like different characters in the footage. I'm like, yeah, of course it's basically almost fucking done. It's a solid move by them. Make most of the game before you announce it, and then this way it's not. A
Yeah,
long
and
wait.
Like-
that way, like when it comes out, it's like, oh, it's here, like before you know it.
Yeah.
Because that was like something that I hated from E3 like a couple years back. Is like they would announce a game, and they'd be like, released, you know.
Yeah, they would announce.
Whatever.
They would announce something, but not true gameplay. But just
Yeah,
show, like,
like,
a
like,
render.
Kingdom Hearts
remember
3
when they
took,
first
like,
announced
7
like
years.
what?
Kingdom Hearts 3 took 7 years from its announcement, so you know.
Yeah, or like Last of Us 2 even.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty
Yeah,
I'm
Last
pretty
of
sure
Us
they
2 was a
announced
while
Last of Us 2 like not even a year after like the first game came out.
Well, they announced it, but I think
Yeah,
they
like announcing
they
it and then
didn't
showing different things off for like
right,
title
because
issues
I
and
think
things.
Last of Us 1 probably I didn't play Last of Us 1, but I'm like didn't it end in like some kind of way that would presume there'd be a sequel?
Not really, no, actually.
Not really.
It had an ending. So you're saying it
Yeah.
had like an ending that was just like there could
Like-
be a sequel, but it's not.
But there
leading
doesn't
to
have
it.
to be,
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
there didn't. Yeah.
But fucking like I'm pretty sure they announced like Last of Us 2 like at the Video Game Awards like the following year. And then like it just came out.
I mean, it was a big successful game. I'm sure they just wanted to get like, hey, we're gonna make a sequel.
Yeah.
You know.
Or even Metal Gear Rising was like announced like years before it came out.
Well, it was supposed to be made one way for a while, and then. It
Well, yeah,
completely went
that was back
back.
when it was
And it could also
that was
it's
back
also
when it was
kinda
a
like
sequel to
Metroid
4
Prime-
instead
Metroid
of like a
Prime
prequel.
4. Like they said they were working
No,
on
no,
it.
no, it's the other way around. My bad.
Yeah, they were like Metroid Prime 4 where they were like working on it, and then they scrapped it to start fresh with the old Prime team. So we don't know when that's coming out.
And I feel like, by the way,
I honestly didn't care about that because I'm like, bro, take your time, make a good game.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
don't
I know. I'm
disappoint
just
me.
saying, like-
on the subject of like the announcement into like how soon they release the game, I do want to say like I very much prefer the let's show like what Crash did essentially, because I've seen stuff like, say, from the angle of like Sonic, like every time there's a main game in the franchise, like Generations or Forces, they do like this big teaser trailer where they're like, holy shit, oh my god, classic Sonic, wow, and it's like a whole fully pre-rendered like movie, and then it sucks because they showed us this announcement, we were hype about it, and then as they show us more gameplay and the game comes out, it's terrible. Except for Generations. Generations was fine. It was just like they do that thing all the time with Sonic, and it goes with multiple other franchises.
Like
I remember
Crash is something that
I remember being over Ant's house, and like that's when they adjusted out Sonic Boom, and we were like, yo, this looks sick. And we were like very excited.
yeah, and then it ended up being a fucking crock of shit.
Oh, well, that's probably I think something happened with the development of that game, and I just don't remember.
Well, did you watch Wahapa?
Oh,
on that
I think we
game?
did watch the Wahapa.
It was nuts. It was supposed to be a completely different fucking game.
It was.
Dude, there's just too much. It's too much.
So much development hell went into that game.
Yeah.
For one thing, they were like developing that game for like PS4, and then they were like, "What are you doing? It's a Wii U exclusive." And they're like, "It's a what?"
It's a what? Can you imagine building a game for a PlayStation 4, and then they tell you have to make it for the Wii U, and you're like, huh?
Because it's almost like they were like,
funny joke.
well, because there was a lot of miscommunication between Big Red Button and Sega, and that's
Right.
why the game is a crock of shit.
Right. And then what's really funny too is that, like, you know, that shit, like, you hate to see it when like shit like that happens, because I mentioned earlier Kingdom Hearts 3 happened like 7 years after its announcement, but like in the middle of that they switched engines completely and had to basically start from ground one, because the thing they did the announcement trailers in was their own engine, and then they switched to Unreal. And then they had to make it for another they ended up making it for like a newer, because they originally were building it with like PS3 hardware for PS4, and then they switched to different hardware for PS4. It was a whole shit, so that's why it took so long. So like that shit happens all over the gaming industry as well, where it's just like there's no communication. They have to switch development situations.
They have to switch engines that they weren't prepared for.
That keeps happening with Sonic too, because I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Sonic Extreme as well before they just outright canceled it.
Well, all the early consoles too, yeah, because remember Sega released their Saturn and then immediately released the Dreamcast shortly after, and so they were kind of, all the developers developing the things for Sega Saturn were like, well, we could do it for the Dreamcast, or Sega was like, make it for the Dreamcast instead.
Well, the more of the problem was that like with Sonic Extreme specifically is that they made two different engines for the game. They made one engine to be like the stage engine, and one engine to be like the boss battle engine.
Right.
And they were like, they did not mesh together,
Right,
but Sega was like, put it together anyway.
In general, back then, making two different engines was a real risky move.
And I honestly, I think, because even like looking at screenshots of Sonic Extreme, like I think Sonic is better for it, that they just outright just said,
you know
fuck
what's
it.
funny? I was kind of intrigued by the idea of the fisheye camera design.
What I'm more intrigued about with Sonic Extreme is like, because that was going to be like the first like 3D Sonic game, not Sonic Adventure. It makes me think of like, if that game came out and was successful, what would Sonic be now?
Right.
Like, it probably would be completely different. Adventure probably wouldn't like happen.
Like
it's hard to say.
I think Adventure would probably happen later, if anything.
Yeah, but like I feel like we wouldn't have like the serious stories as much, because I don't think Sonic Extreme had a serious story.
No, I think Sonic Extreme was like any of the classic games where it was just here's Sonic.
Though I hope that someday when Sega finally fucking gives up and gives Sonic over to the fucking Sonic fans.
Oh yeah, we did that Sonic Labyrinth remake, right? That's what you want?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to... No, fuck off.
I just looked up what you were talking about, because I've never heard of this before. And it's really called Sonic Extreme, huh? Okay.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yo, this actually looks kinda sick. This looks kind of...
It's weird. It's weird.
Like,
it was going to use like a similar engine to I think what they did is they took the boss engine from Sonic Extreme, and then they used it for Nights.
Oh,
I think is what they did.
interesting.
Or at least it was going to be very similar. But what I was going to say though is when Sonic finally gets taken over by the fans instead of by Sega, I hope someone finds some way to bring in Tiara Bubowski, which was the canceled character from that game.
Yeah.
Speaking.
I hope the comics become canon in the games going forward.
They better be.
So speaking of Sonic, what is your unpopular Sonic opinion?
I have a lot.
Okay, well,
I guess my main one right now is that Sonic Colors is garbage.
really?
That's Bottle's opinion. That's the one thing that me and Bottles genuinely like fully disagree on.
Yeah.
But then with me, it's hard to say because normally I would go with the adventure games weren't that good. I had like a whole tier list and I put them like not in S tier for sure. But like that's not necessarily unpopular. I guess among the Sonic community is. I see the flaws in the game as in adventure games, even though I love them dearly.
Well, people go either way. Like people are either like they're the best games in the series or they're the worst games.
Yeah, I think they're okay. I don't think they're the worst games or anything, but they're definitely not. I mean, they're not like it's weird to say because Sonic, like I said before, Sonic has like this like blanket of mediocrity. I guess that's what I'll say. Sonic is overall as a franchise, Sonic is mediocre. He has this blanket of mediocrity. Like my tier list was mostly B tier and C tier, and so like when you have games in the A tier, that might as well be next to the S tier, you know, because it's just they're that close in that sense. But but the drop between that to B is a little bigger, and then B and C are right next to each other. So like that's kind of where Sonic is in terms of like its franchise as a whole.
But like people also don't realize that like people are just kind of assume that Sonic is bad, but it's like nah, it's like the bad games are really bad, sure, but like
The good games are pretty fun.
yeah,
That's
the
right.
good games are really good as well.
Sonic doesn't have any like groundbreaking. Not that to be as honest as I possibly can, Sonic doesn't have any groundbreaking for the industry games in my opinion. Aside from like Sonic 2 back then, because there weren't that many games that were running as fast as Sonic 2 could run.
I'm not like this might be an unpopular opinion. I don't know. Maybe this is just nostalgia glasses, but I don't care what anyone says. Sonic Adventure 2 to this day still looks good.
I think it's fine. Yeah.
I think it looks fine. I mean, I have to go back and look at it.
I play it with like a mod that makes on PC that makes the Dreamcast like that brings back Dreamcast textures, and they look fine. Like they look great, and like and it's funny too because you say that and we've been doing the blindfold Sonic Adventure run on GCN.
Yeah.
And like anytime that I do catch a glimpse of the screen between parts, it's like I realize that like man, the GameCube versions of the games and subsequently the PlayStation like the HD like re-release of the games look horrible.
They aren't.
I don't know why Sega shifted into this weird because it wasn't shell shading, it was just glossy, and it was the same thing with a lot of GameCube games.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Like everyone suddenly was like had like a sheet of like rubber on them.
Yeah,
that was weird. You know, like Mario did it too. Like Mario and Sunshine, if you look at Mario in that game, he's like weirdly his hat is shiny, and you're like, what the hell? Like it's just like, and that's like just weirdly enough, the GameCube shaders of like most games on it were just like everyone's shiny, whatever, and it's like okay. But then like they didn't like change it in subsequent releases either. So like the HD versions of Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2, everyone's like shiny and weird. I mean in Adventure 2 they're not shiny. They're just like there's barely any shading.
Because I know there's like Sonic DX or whatever where they look like that.
Right, Sonic DX they're shiny. Adventure 2 they're flat. Like they have no shading or anything.
Because I was talking about it with me and my coworker were talking about Sonic stuff. He's probably like one of like bigger than I am in terms of like Sonic stuff. He likes Sonic. He loves Sonic. It's pretty cool. And you know we were talking about like just like some of the Sonic games, and apparently I heard that a lot of people are kind of like turning their eye on like their opinions on Unleashed. That like it's not actually that bad.
Oh no! Yeah.
Oh no,
Oh,
Unleashed
yeah.
is great.
Yeah,
I've
Unleashed
said
is a
Unleashed
good
is
game.
Even like, and listen, a lot of people say, "Oh, I just don't like the werehog," and I'm like, "That's true."
Yeah, that's
But
like the main
if
thing.
you go in like saying like, "All right, well," and then I got to do a werehog stage, it's not nearly as bad. Like if
Yeah.
you go in like speed, you're gonna be horrifically disappointed. And yeah, that's a lot of what Sonic
Because like
is.
originally, I
but
think
it's not
one
what
of his.
Sonic Unleashed is.
What were you saying? Continue, sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's just not what Sonic Unleashed is. Like if you look at it as its own game, in the franchise, sure, but as its own thing, it's not a sequel to this. It has its own mechanics and
Yeah.
stuff. Because it was also like the first like main series boost game.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like, you know, when you look at it that way, it's actually pretty fun. Even the werehog sections, as long as you're playing the optimal version of the game, which I think is the Xbox. I think the PS3
Yeah, it's
has a lot of
360 and PS3.
well, yeah, no, that's the optimal version, but I think the 360 version is less framey than the PS3. I mean, the port of it that's on Xbox One right now is terrible. But
I'm a little biased because the funny thing is that my Xbox 360 version of Unleashed like crapped out.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Like I would go to the loading screen to go to like the first like sky chase type stage, and it just would not load.
I've heard, but yeah, overall, I think people at the general populace says that the 360 version.
Yeah,
is the
we were
better,
we were just
less
trading.
framey version.
Yeah, we were just trading opinions on it. Like he really likes Sonic Rush.
I love
that-
Sonic
that's
Rush.
his
I put
thing.
Sonic Rush. I
Fantastic.
put Sonic Rush in my S tier.
But
I think
you know,
Sonic Rush is a fantastic game.
He was telling me that like the final stage of that game is absolute dog shit.
It is, but
So
it's
that's where like
also-
the comparison came from with like Sonic Unleashed is a good game, but like the Werehog stages
It
are
is,
kind of shitty.
But Sonic Rush. So Sonic Rush. Did he say the last stage of Sonic Rush is terrible?
I think he said it was the last stage, like the final like the end, like the
Or
final part of the
was he
game.
talking about Unleashed?
No, I was like we were just like sharing like opinions,
Yeah.
and it was like oh
Because Rush is the thing about Rush is that it was the first Dimps game or not necessarily the first of the Dimps Sonic games that did it.
No,
but,
that was
like-
advanced, wasn't it?
No, I'm not saying it was the first Dimps game. I'm saying it was the first one that
Oh, okay.
really went a little too hard on the bottomless pits. Like the advanced games, like even up to Advanced 3, there may have started to see hints of like, hey, that's a bit too
Well,
much.
I do like Sonic Advanced a lot.
Advanced 1 was really bad with the bottomless pits.
Well, no, because here's the thing about Advanced 1, actually. There's a lot less overall, but all of them are compact into the Angel Island zone.
Yeah.
And the, like, liftoff zone or whatever it's actually called.
Yeah.
And then the
Station or
space
something.
one. But all three of those make general sense. But then, like, when you get to Rush, they stopped giving a shit about where you are in the world, and there's bottomless pits in the middle of the forest and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, but like, even then, I think Sonic Rush was just, I think it's sad too because Colors followed suit with the gameplay since it was also made by Dimps, and I think Colors DS is also actually pretty fun. But I wish that they kind of. It's weird to say because the Dimps games kind of kept going downhill, but I kind of wish we kept getting more Sonic portable, Dimps games.
Dimps did Sonic 4, did they not?
No.
I think they did.
Yes? Did they?
Yeah, I'm gonna
I was
look
gonna say
it up.
that's what we have computers for. Sonic 4. It was Dimps. It was Dimps.
It was Dimps. Okay.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, but Sonic 4 has a lot more issues than Dimps' stage design. That's just the physics
Well,
of that game.
Yeah, the physics of episode 1 are pretty bad. Like they're
And the design, I just don't like. Again, glossy. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
Sega's like, it's shell shading. I'm like, that's not what shell shading is.
shell shading.
Yeah, I was like, Sonic might be, but
Is that how you color TMNT?
yeah.
With shell shading?
Shell
shading.
Ninja Turtles.
But yeah, Sonic might be shell shaded that way, but cell shaded rather. Yeah, Sonic might be cell shaded, but like the rest of the stage is just horrible, finely glossy.
Now here's the question of the day, I guess. What do you think is the worst Sonic game?
Damn, dude, that's rough. I didn't.
Let Let me go look at my tier list. I'll tell you straight fucking up.
So I gave my unpopular Sonic opinion that Sonic Heroes could be like better if it was a Chaotix game.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
all the stories,
Well,
like all the
technically
stories are
it is.
cool. Like all the stories are like interesting. Like my friend really likes Team Shadow, like Team Darks, like Team Sonic's is super generic. We all know how we feel about that. But like, I feel like if it was not Sonic Heroes and like Chaotix,
It was like Knuckles Chaotix
yeah,
2.
or not even Knuckles Chaotix too, just like
Well,
something
just
involving
like
the
Chaotix.
Chaotix Squad with the Sonic
I feel
crew,
like
like
that-
with the Sonic crew
Yeah,
sprinkled
but-
in, almost kind of like Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, but that would have been such a risky move,
Yeah, but like
dude.
sometimes you gotta take risks though.
Here's the thing. So here's what the worst Sonic game in our opinion would be, and I think according to my tier list here, I'd have to say it's Sonic Labyrinth.
Really?
The Game Gear. Well, yeah, because it's just not a Sonic game in any way.
I will agree. Sonic Labyrinth is pretty bad. I did beat that game, and it's really dumb.
Because you know what it is? It's its own arcade game, sure. Like if it was any other character, it would have been like, oh, I remember this arcade game. But it's not Sonic, and it doesn't fit at all. I'll say like Sonic Boom, like the characters were all like influenced by past Sonic, writing. Like Knuckles being Musclehead was a branch off of who he was. Like he was constantly like fooled and stuff. So every other game in my E tier, which is like 06, Chronicles, Boom, Shattered Crystal, Rise of Lyric, and then the advanced port of Sonic 1. All of those are in some way, shape, or form still Sonic, but Labyrinth is just not Sonic.
That's fair.
I really don't. I don't think I really have an opinion on like the worst Sonic game because like Sonic's cool, right? But like my knowledge isn't as vast, right? On like most Sonic
yeah.
things, like I don't know. I legitimately really don't like Sonic 06 like at all. I think that game, like obviously we all know that game is garbage, but
I feel like that's a given for
I don't
Sonic
like
06.
it. I don't hate it unironically, and I don't like it unironically. Like I know most people
Yeah,
do.
you're
like,
not
actually,
one
like,
of those people that can laugh at it. You
Yeah,
just
like
don't
I
it.
really can't
Yeah.
laugh at something done
I
so
think
poorly.
the joke is kind of dead. Like there's still
Oh,
memes
yeah.
that people will make, but like
Well,
aside
now
from that,
now it's just infuriating because people use Sonic 06 as fuel to say that like the whole series is bad.
oh yeah, no, yeah, people genuinely find anything they can use to say Sonic is like as a whole bad, and like I just feel like it just isn't a fair comparison because like I said, Sonic has that blanket of mediocrity. So like if you don't have to look far to find another like pretty bad game from Sonic, but it doesn't mean the whole franchise is bad. It just means that like it doesn't have anything to hide. You know what I mean? It's like everything about it that people don't like is known at this point. You know, like you've heard everyone's thoughts of every individual bad Sonic game. Oh, Black Knight, 06, Sonic Boom. Like every time there's a bad Sonic game, you hear it from everybody. So it can't hide any of its bad games. But when there's a good game,
except for what I believe is the worst Sonic game because no one talks about it.
which is
Fucking Sonic Chronicles.
Sonic Chronicles, I was gonna say initially before I said Labyrinth, because I'm looking at my tier list. But like Chronicles, to me, I'm like, what's funny about Chronicles is that like, I like Shade. Like there are elements in that game that I like, and therefore it can't possibly be the worst one. Because it has factors that I enjoy.
But Sonic Chronicles is such a fucking joke of an RPG.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it ain't a fucking terrible game. It's just not the worst.
It's a joke of an RPG. They tried to like incorporate elite beat agents / Osu of all fucking things into their battle system, and they literally shipped the game with a broken fucking MIDI soundtrack.
And then the final boss is like terrible. You literally need
Yeah.
Supersonic to beat him because if you don't, it can't end and you'll die eventually.
Yeah, it's
And it's just asinine.
they literally shipped an unfinished game,
Damn, dude.
and they had the gall to call it like Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood,
As
like
if-
implying that there were going
there's
to be more.
Yeah. I mean, that's
But hey,
BioWare
now
for you. They went on to make Anthem and bricked everyone's PC.
I remember that. I remember that whole thing. Listen, I'm still on this high horse of like Sonic Battle was a really cool fucking game.
Oh, I love
Oh,
Sonic
yeah.
Battle.
Sonic Battle's
Sonic
Great.
Battles,
Sick.
I think, is one of the best
I
Sonic
put Sonic
games.
Battle in A tier. I think Sonic
Yeah,
Battle.
Sonic Battle was sick. I love its art style. Like, I
What's
like the
funny
game.
is I've never finished Sonic Battle, but that's only because when I'm playing any Game Boy Advance game, just like the sound, like I'm usually playing on emulator at this point, but like the sound, like the music, just like dulls me, and I get like kind of bored, even if I'm having a little fun playing it, and I just end up not finishing the game.
I have to say, Sonic Battle is definitely, in my opinion, the Sonic game with the best story,
Oh yeah,
hands down.
It has a great story.
That and Sonic Battle is the closest game to having a story that is very Ian Flynn-esque.
Also, let alone that, it also is one of the only games that like kind of connects every past Earth that we've seen in Sonic,
Yeah.
which every other Sonic game before and after just uses a different fucking world every time.
I gotta give the IDW Sonic Comics credit. They fucking kept it there.
Dude, I cannot believe, let alone that, like, the IDW Sonic comics are going left. That's why I hope that they keep it canon, because, like, when I was reading the comics and I was just doing, like, a binge reading because I had to catch up, and they're like, oh, Sonic, grab your extreme gear, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and the fucking Babylon Rogues are there too.
Dude, I'm so happy about that. My fucking boy Jet is fucking there. I want it all to be canon. I
Jet
want
the
another,
Hawk.
like, yeah.
Yeah, the Babylon Rogues are in the comics.
Dude, I want another Riders game. I feel like I don't want it to end at Free Riders.
Yeah, we
I don't
need
want the
one more.
last game in the Riders franchise to be Free Riders. Like, fuck.
Why weren't they in fucking Team Sonic Racing?
The same reason Espio and Charmy weren't, and they just gave Vector to Silver and Blaze.
Vector, the crocodile.
Yeah.
For some reason, they only wanted Vector, and I'm like, no one even really. I don't think like Vector is like someone's
Oh, what?
favorite
Sonic
character.
High School? With
Yeah, like, well, it's funny because
Think
like,
of what happened to Vector in that.
because like I know, like I get that a lot of people do like Vector. Like Vector is someone's favorite. Like, but like,
How do you break
Espio
up the
has more.
chaos?
I understand not Charmy. No one likes Charmy.
See how it.
I know, but like, how do you break up the chaotics?
Exactly, right? And why give Vector to Silver and Blaze?
Yeah, like of all characters.
Like, that is, like, legitimately the other group.
The other.
That is
Hey man,
the
Blaze is hey man, Blaze
pinnacle
is
team
cool.
other. No, I love Silver and Blaze. I love both of them. But, like, they are literally, if you put Vector with them, that's Team Other. Like, it's Team Etc.
Team
Like,
Team
yeah.
Bees.
Team.
Team.
Like, it's like you can't put Vector with them and not say these were the characters that were at the bottom of the barrel. Like,
Yeah, right.
like it's like
I gotta really give the Sonic comic credit for like taking characters that I really did not like in the Sonic series and making them good.
I'll give the Sonic comics way more credit if they can explain why Silver's still around.
It seems like Silver's role is just like he'll go back to the future like every
Right.
so often, and then he comes back. He's like, guys, it's still fucked up.
It's still fucked up.
Guys, it still sucks.
I hate
Dude,
it
it's
so
fucked
much.
up.
He's
That's
the
his
trunk of
only
Sonic.
character.
It's so funny because it's so true. Like he'll
All
go
he
back.
does.
It's like it's literally so funny because he'll go in there. He'll be like, "All right, guys, that was a great fight. Good job, team. I'm gonna go back home." Goes back home. Oh fuck, I gotta go back. It's still ass.
The world.
It's
like-
still
like
on
if,
fire.
It's like if Trunks kept on coming back.
Yeah,
Oh,
honestly.
The future's still
Yeah,
fucked
like
but
up,
Trunks
guys.
is cooler.
Like I get Silver's current role, but in the first place, like Silver has continued to be around since 06, and no one has ever bothered to explain why he's still around. Because after 06, he shouldn't even be aware of who anyone else is.
No one
Yeah.
cares enough to tell him, hey man, can you stop?
Like
Well, also,
I-
Sega doesn't know the difference between timelines and alternate dimensions.
Right. Because Blaze is technically from an alternate dimension, but then suddenly she's from Silver's timeline, or like the
But
future. in
not
general.
just Blaze. Classic Sonic.
Right. Well, no, yeah, that's true. They decided, but that one was them genuinely deciding. That's not them not knowing. They genuinely were like,
I hate that.
no, I hate
hate that
I hate it
so
too.
much.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I hate that too. I'm just saying that what they did with Blaze was, hey, she's from an alternate dimension. Just kidding, she's from the future. What? Which one is she from?
Just kidding, she's actually from an alternate
Yeah,
dimension.
exactly. Doesn't matter. But then, like, classic Sonic, they actively were like, no, he's just a different Sonic. Which, while I don't like, that one they actively made a decision on, whereas Blaze, they just kind of threw her to Silver because they needed her for 06.
I hope they fucking retcon classic Sonic back to being, young Sonic.
Oh yeah, because it actually made like the end scene of Generations Q where like classic Sonic tried to learn Boost.
No, I thought that was the homing attack.
I mean technically it could be both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it had the Boost aura.
Yeah. I took it as the homing attack, but I think that's just because I'm an adventure fag.
At this point, at point of Generations, it could have been both because I think I think Generations had the button set to the same.
Yeah, I don't know.
But either way, like yeah, it made that scene cute because it was like past me, haha. But then but it's weird. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Forces
Sonic
can
for
go
you.
Suck a wiener.
I want Shadow the Hedgehog too. That's my unpopular
listen.
whoa,
All right,
whoa,
moving on
come on.
from that.
That's my point. No, Bottles fucking agreed with me.
Moving on.
Oh no, I agree wholeheartedly.
We've had this conversation.
Phil's getting defensive.
I'm waiting
We want
for
Shadow
I'm waiting
the
for a
Hedgehog, too.
Tails game personally.
Yeah, but dude, making
Go
another
play
Shadow,
Tail-
but making
go
another
play
Shadow,
you already got
making
Tails
another
Sky
Shadow
Patrol
the
and Tails
Hedgehog
Adventure.
game is like a lot of money. A lot of money that
What?
Sega doesn't have.
No.
What?
Are you
out of your
freaking
mind? Are you out of your fucking gourd?
What, they making another
talking
Shadow game will
about?
cost them a lot of money?
The most.
It'll cost
They
just
make
as much as like a
another
fucking
Shadow
Sonic
The
game.
most
game.
money it would
They
make.
make
The
another
most money
Shadow
that would go into the Shadow game would be making another Shadow holding a gun statue for another guy to stand in front of it.
Oh, get killed execution style.
Make Shadow
Hey
the
Jimmy,
Last
how
of
much
Us.
money do we got in our savings to make a Shadow the Hedgehog game? Well, we got $3, a paperclip, some string,
Is
some
Sega
dirt,
still broke?
and a stick of gum. Making a
Wait,
game.
what'd you say, Bottles?
I said, is Sega still broke?
No.
Yeah, by the sound of that, I don't know if they're broken up.
No, not necessarily. They're better than they've been.
Yeah.
The thing is, right? All of Sega's money, you'd think, all their money is
don't we
made
just ask
from
you?
Sonic games that end up being shitty,
What is
so they're
Google
wasting
Sega's
money,
net
right?
worth?
But like, actually,
Sega still broke?
They're getting carried. They're getting carried by the
all-
Yakuza games.
no, all of Sega's money comes from their like pachinko machines. And casino games.
Pachinko.
I'm not kidding. That's all of
This
Sega's
is
money.
the best
I love
fucking
Pachinko.
article
They
title I've
still
ever
have
seen.
an operating income of 14.8 billion yen.
Alright, that's probably good.
Yeah, yen from most
Probably
of
okay.
It's that's all. But keep in mind, like that's not from their gaming. That's from like
Yeah,
their
no.
arcade.
That's from,
machines
like,
and shit.
arcade
Yo, what
games
is a
and shit.
14.4 billion yen in rupees?
You mean in dollars?
Hey,
yen,
okay,
two-
Google.
Yen, two-
It's
What's
two-
14
one-
billion
I-
yen in rupees?
I have it, you cock. You don't have to ask him. In rupees, fuck rupees. Rupees are for fucking Link. It's
And Indians.
it's
Yo, what the fuck?
$137 million.
What is it? Oh,
$137 million.
oh, nyallers?
Yeah.
That's actually not.
How
a
many
lot.
schmeckles
What
is
was
that?
that?
For
Can you
Indians?
repeat that
You
one more
mean
time?
for Ajay in Far Cry 4?
Yeah, but you gotta tell me how many schmeckles that
How many
is.
shekels?
Don't exist.
That's
Schmeckles,
Schmeckles?
you idiot.
How many
Not a lot of
Like, these
schmeckles.
boobies bought me
Not a
25
lot.
schmeckles, alright?
Oh,
Here's
man.
the thing, Sega's not necessarily
Not
broke,
right.
but like if they make another
necessarily
game,
broke. Bro,
in
they
the
have
same lane as
137
Sonic
million-
Forces, like
I mean,
in terms of
yeah, that
like
many
mediocrity,
dollars.
they're not gonna.
Wasn't the anniversary of Sonic coming up, and they're supposed to announce another game or something?
Next year's 30.
The anniversary of
Yes, they have been holding behind the gate of coronavirus.
All right, fair.
They've been holding behind an announcement that we have no idea what it is, and it only
I think it's ridiculous.
it only lasts.
I think it's
mean,
Son- I
not
think
gonna
it's
lie.
Sonic
it's
Adventure.
it's
remake.
ridiculous that it's been going this long that they haven't announced yet. But I also
Well,
think
the
Sega might be
problem is
afraid
that
to
we
announce
know
it.
that we know that a game is coming out next year,
Right.
and it's like,
I think-
all right, show
I
something.
think they're just afraid. I think they've been burned too many times, and they're afraid to like show it.
I think what they're afraid of is slightly the Sonic Forces effect, where like before Sonic Forces came out, they showed like fucking everything.
Right.
Yeah, that's been a big problem recently.
But the problem-
where like they show way too much, and then when the game comes out, you expect so much more than what has been shown,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
don't get that, and you
But
just feel a little disappointed.
The other issue is that like there has to be that gray area, right? Because they show too much, but if they show, like I said earlier, that one pre-rendered teaser and we don't see any gameplay until it comes out, essentially, then we're just disappointed by the game because we were hyped by this pre-rendered footage.
You just gotta do what Crash 4 did and just make a trailer with a bunch of gameplay, show off what the game can do, and then just leave it until the game comes out. Like, don't come out with videos every week with gameplay and song track, like stage themes and this and that, and who cares?
Sega. The problem is that we can trust Toys for Bob with like Crash and whatnot. We cannot trust Sega with its gameplay footage because they've been known infamously to speed up the lagging frame rates in the footage.
Yeah. Well, also fucking, when you watch it's the perfect example in Forces is when you watch the gameplay of like the Avatar in Sonic Forces, it looks cooler than it is.
Right.
Because everyone assumed that the grappling hook that the Avatar has wasn't automated.
Right. But then you play and it's completely.
And then it was.
90% of Forces is automated gameplay.
Yeah.
Horrifyingly frustrating.
I still don't. I'm calling you out because you might be watching. I don't get you, Steve. I don't know what you see in this game.
Steve knows. It's so funny because I sent you a picture.
But there are soap shoes that makes it all okay.
There isn't.
We gotta beat up Steve. I can beat up Steve.
No. There is customizable costume for the Avatar that gives soap shoes.
Can we kill
Steve?
Steve?
Here's my take on why I think Steve likes it, and he can fucking like come at me in my fucking DMs and scream at me that I'm wrong. I think the only reason that he likes Sonic Forces is because of Infinite.
But Infinite is an edgy butthole.
Infinite could have been so good, and he was just an asshole.
Can we beat up Steve? Can we kill him?
Yes, we can beat up
Can we
Steve.
kill him?
Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll kill him.
Okay.
No.
Oh wait, was Steve the one where I drank his water? Was that Steve's water?
Yes,
Oh,
that
that
was
was Steve's
Steve's.
water?
Finish
Okay.
the album bottles. Wait.
Okay.
All right, we'll finish the album and then we'll kill
Okay,
him.
fair. I like that idea. Moving on from killing Steve and
Our friends.
and understanding that Sega, 50-50, Sonic's cool, we like Sonic's kind of red. Another beloved.
I just look at Sega and I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
That's the nicest thing Phil's ever said about Sonic.
I mean, it's fair. We got another beloved game.
Are you okay?
We're finally getting Pokemon Snap 2, baby.
Yes!
20 years,
New
I think.
Pokemon
20
Snap.
years, I think.
I want to download.
That was the only thing worth looking at in both Pokemon Presents.
I actually want to download. I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna download the Cafe Mix game.
Oh, I played Pokemon Cafe. It's actually pretty chill. I like it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like I
cute,
kind of
that's
want to
cute.
download.
I like that. So that's pretty cool. 20 years in the making. Nintendo, where's my Kirby Air Ride? 2, you cowards. They're all
Well, like,
they're cowards.
listen,
Where's our new F-Zero game? Cowards.
Dead.
Punch out.
Dead upon arrival.
Fuck.
Arms. Go
Are you
play
okay?
Arms. All right?
Arms.
Are you having a good
Magical
time?
Kitsune. Oh my god.
They put their fighting game energy
I think
bottles.
Jess
They
would
put
like
that
that
into
too.
Arms. All right. So you
Arms.
get arms and nothing else.
What about grabs?
What about legs?
Legs. Oh my god. But
Did
I'm
you
kind of
ever think
excited.
about
I'm kind of
legs?
excited for Pokemon Snap 2. It does look really good.
Yeah.
Like, it
well,
looks-
I
it looks
mean,
beautiful.
the footage we saw was not final. I
Well-
can't wait for them. Everyone's like, it looks better than Sword and Shield. I can't wait for them to bring in like someone from Game Freak to put the shader from Sword and Shield on.
Oh my god.
And it's like everyone's like, it looks better. No.
I also can't wait to have both the Pokemon community and the League of Legends community just to meld together to one amalgamation of just.
I'm curious. How do we all feel about Pokemon Unite?
I mean, I played MOBAs for a very long time.
I didn't watch gameplay, but I don't think it was.
It's a
any type of
MOBA. It's
announcement.
literally League of Legends. That's all you gotta
I think it would have been fine if they had it in the other presentation, but the fact they waited a week, hyped it up, and then announced it is terrible.
I was also
And
upset that
it was-
present was just that, and it was just 11 minutes. Of
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah, like I was like, okay, Pokemon Unite, and I'm like, all right, let me skim to the next thing, and then it was over.
Right. And then my other thing, right, like everyone's like, oh, Tencent, and I'm like, listen, regardless of what you think about Tencent and them being a Chinese company, I don't have anything actually to like say about the games that they are dealing with. Like I play Valorant, and everyone was like, oh my god, Riot's owned by Tencent, and they have a thing that goes to your core computer, and I get that the anti-cheat software going to the core computer is, is upsetting to people, and I get that. I think it's a lower chance that should. And again, you can play the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme if something happens.
Overall enthusiasm.
But like generally speaking, I'm not that worried about it because it is like I'd be worried more about stuff like that with Tencent if like the games weren't actual games, right? Like if it was like this weird Chinese rip-off, bad shaders and shit game, but it's an actual game and it actually is fun, and it goes to the same for probably the MOBA. Like it's like, well, I don't know about it be fun per se because it's not out yet, but like in general, like it's like whatever, it looks like it's an actual game. So I'm not gonna say anything about Tencent in general just because they're a Chinese company. Like that's all.
I know that Tencent is like does I think shady business things or whatever. I think that's like one of the other things.
That's right.
But
that's the thing, right? Is that like I'm not gonna be upset because it's like just because the company named Tencent is on it doesn't mean the developers from the Pokemon company or Nintendo that are also working on the game or like working with Tencent. Like there are other people that work on this game, right? And it's just like I'm not gonna get upset about that. I am upset about how they presented the game.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing I'm really upset about.
Yeah, like I said, it's just it's a MOBA. Like it's on your screen, it's on your phone.
I just don't care.
I don't think the existence of the game should be angering people. I just think the presentation.
No. Yeah, I don't think people. I haven't seen really anyone like mad
to seeing
about
what
it.
the meta's gonna be.
I just watched and I'm like, I don't care.
People thought we were getting our Gen 4 remake.
Are we?
No, people thought that's what that whole thing was.
I would have honestly taken Pokemon Unite and then them announcing like a line of like really in-depth Pokemon merch. Like I would have taken that.
If you really think about
MOBA
Pokemon as a whole, like Pokemon, they have tried a lot of different things throughout the years. Yeah. This isn't their first time branching away from like the typical Pokemon kind of gameplay style.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
They tried a fighting game.
Listen, I'm still
they tried
on
their hand at like Pokemon-esque RPGs.
Yeah, I'm still on my Pokemon Conquest hill, right? Like, give me that.
Where's my Pokemon shooter?
Jesus.
Like, I'm not surprised that they're doing it. I just wish that it wasn't such a blatant fucking ripoff of League of Legends.
Guess
it looks
what?
the exact same.
Guess what, Peter? Pokemon Snap? That's a rail shooter.
I don't want.
Oh, it is a rail shooter. Oh my god.
I want FPS, not rail.
Oh my god.
I'm sure someone's made it. Actually, I think there was like a first-person Pokemon game, but it was just like a remake of Gen 1.
Ruh-roh.
But it was like still in like the sprite style. It was kind of like I'm Scared.exe.
Yeah.
You could make it in fucking PlayStation
that was like fan game.
I asked Sonic Unpopular Opinions. Do you guys got any Pokemon Unpopular Opinions?
I don't really enjoy
my Pokemon
games.
Unpopular opinion is that Gen 4 was the last good
right.
fucking
What'd
gen.
you say, Ant?
Gen 4's last good gen, and the spin-off games are better than the main
I was right,
games.
we talked about this before.
Boing.
Listen, I know it's not really unpopular now, since a lot of people keep talking about it, but I take Ant's opinion, but I add Gen 5 to it, because I think Gen 5's the best gen. Gen 5 is fantastic.
I like Gen 5, I just don't really care that much about it.
I think I agree with the spin-off thing because I fucking adored Pokemon Troze.
Actually, today was my first day.
There's Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Conquest.
I love and the Mystery Dungeon games too, I love those. But like, what it is like I said, I can't enjoy... I just can't bring my... Every time a new game comes out, like with Sword, I did it again. I got Sun when we went to the city one year. We were at this gaming store, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll get Sun while I'm here. And I'm like, why not? Maybe I'm better... Maybe I can actually sit through a Pokemon game. I couldn't. Then I said, I'm just not going to do it again with Sword. I'm not going to do it. And then I was sitting there going, I get Sword. It should be fine. It's 3D. And then I couldn't. So I'm done. I can't. I cannot do it to myself again.
I can't believe you bought literally the easiest Pokemon game known to man, Sun, and just didn't.
It's not that it was. It's not that I had a hard time.
Can't believe this man be out here buying a game that's literally made for for 5-year-olds.
I was legitimately bored. It wasn't difficult.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like you bought like the one that holds your hand the most.
Right.
You bought the game that literally goes, hey, here's everything you need to get through the entire
Sure.
game.
That has nothing to do with my opinion of it.
I know. It's just like, damn, dude, this guy be out here.
What do you think is your most controversial gaming opinion? Like, out of all
Honestly,
of them?
That's
that's mine. It's like, every time I bring up Gen 5, everyone's like, ew, stinky. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I don't think it's stinky, and I like what they tried
No,
to do.
yeah.
I just didn't like it as much as
like
Gen
when
4.
Sword and Shield came out, everyone was just like, oh, it's like they're doing Gen 5 again, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, they're not. What they did in Gen 5, what they did in Gen 5 was that you can catch, they kept it primarily the Gen 5 Pokemon, then after you beat the game, then you can catch all the other ones. Sword and Shield was just, they didn't have them, right? So,
Yeah,
but like, Gen
which
5
is
is
poop
sick.
doobie.
There's so many cool Pokemon, the story is fantastic, it's solid, and they even expanded it further, and Black and White 2 honestly felt more of like a sequel, I mean, despite it having 2 in its name, right? Than like the third games, where like the third games are like, oh, here's Emerald and all this other stuff, or like Crystal, but like where you kind of started in the same town, but with different outfits. Like Emerald was like, oh, you're here, yup, you started in the same town, but you're wearing green.
I think I'll say this is probably my like biggest like unpopular gaming opinion overall. I don't really like Mario Odyssey that much.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Not that I dislike it or dislike playing it, but I don't see myself going back to play it.
Fair enough.
Like it's like I go back to play the Galaxy games I did recently. I even got a sensor bar for it, but like I just
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that
I don't
one.
feel like it's something that I feel like playing a lot because they really went. I feel like they went a little too hard into like the Sunshine like style where like, hey, you looked at that thing in the sky? Here's a star, and it's like, huh?
When I watered the sun and you shit your fucking pants.
It's like I just had Joy-Con drift. I wasn't.
Go up
thanks.
here and then you
Actually,
I think I think Odyssey is probably like maybe my second favorite Mario game.
Like I like that they had like a fleshed out control system, but like I just feel like they almost did too much to me. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they steered in such a direction that it was like.
It was kind of jarring, like going from like I think the previous main series game was 3D World, like going from just run and jump to like run, jump, skip, hop, roll, fucking
and then like
hat.
Yeah, and then like let alone that they did other things just in general for different from the franchise with Mario. Like they added there's vocal music.
Yeah.
There's like I said, they steered into the curve of like the Sunshine style of like you can get like 25 different fucking stars, more so probably. Like you just keep fucking.
I mean, you know me. Sunshine is my favorite fucking Mario game,
right?
And that's probably why
Which
I like Odyssey.
I also
almost
yeah, exactly.
as much.
Which it stems from me also probably not enjoying Sunshine as much either.
I already know that that's an unpopular Mario opinion. Is that Sunshine is the best game? At least I think that's.
No, it's not.
No, it's popular.
A lot of people.
It's unpopular saying it's not. And not liking it.
It honestly
because I know
depends on
people
the
that
fan
don't
base.
like it.
Honestly, I
feel
hear
like
that
it's-
Galaxy is the best one.
Yeah, I feel like
A lot of people like Galaxy. I think I just think Galaxy, the first one specifically, doesn't. It does what it sets out to do, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's like Mario in space. There are space physics. Here's what you do, and that's it, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like my issue with Odyssey and Sunshine is that it like really throws so much. Like I was telling Mike the other day, or not the other day, but like at one point, like my favorite stages in Sunshine was when I didn't have FLUDD. And that's not because that's not because I didn't like FLUDD, but that's just because I like. My favorite game in the franchise is actually probably 3D
I feel
World.
like maybe it's just because like another reason why people might like Galaxy more and why you might like Galaxy more is it's really close to like 64.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
64 has a very
I enjoy
simplified
I
movement
like
system.
basic run, jump, and maybe a dive.
What I think it comes down to, Pete, is that you like the course clear Mario games rather than the exploration Mario games.
Yeah.
And that Galaxy, even though it kind of has the guise of an exploration game is a course clear game.
Right, exactly. Like you explore, but like
not really.
Exactly. Like it makes you feel like you're exploring because of the vastness of space. But like if you enter a specific star, it gives you a path to go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like in
very,
Mario
very
60,
linear.
in Mario 64, like you could go to like say Bob-omb Battlefield for like the King Bob-omb star, but you can get the red coin star if you wanted
And
to.
you can do. There is stars like that in Galaxy. Like there are hidden stars, right? So like if you're in
Significantly
one,
more
you find
limited
another
in
one.
number.
Yeah.
There are
Signif-
sometimes,
yeah.
but it's enough that like it's not annoying. You know what I mean? It's not a fucking task. All right, and it's the same reason why like I enjoy getting to like level 99 in RPGs, right? Is that like I do like having the ease of just hitting an enemy and like their health bar gets annihilated. Like it's like, oh, maybe I don't have to strategize as much, but like I like having that ease. That's like that's
But like,
mankind's
it's the
dream.
thing where it's like you earn that. You earn that because you played the game like a lot.
Right, but you know, like I was having like a slight argument per se with my sister's boyfriend the other day that like where he was like, oh, so you don't like puzzle games. I'm like, that's not entirely true. I just, as a normal human, I have the natural human desire to make things easier for myself.
I just think like 64 and Galaxy both have a very like simplistic, like slightly almost limited to the point of how simplistic it is movement system, whereas like in Odyssey and in Sunshine there are so many situations where it's like, oh, if I jump and then jump off that and then fucking nozzle or cap, I could make that jump, but that isn't apparently obvious.
Right,
and I feel like in 64 and in Galaxy, outside of speedrunning, a lot like the path they want you to follow is significantly more straightforward.
Right.
You know?
And I understand the sentiment. Like, I'm not saying like Odyssey and Sunshine are bad games or anything. I understand when people like them. I just don't enjoy them as much because of it. Like, I prefer, especially because like, and this is another thing is that like I come from Sonic. My first game was Sonic Adventure. Same thing I've said about Sonic before is that like a lot of people think, oh, Sonic should be open world, and I'm like, no, because it plays better with a slightly tighter course that is just set to different tracks based on where you fall or where you jump. That's fun.
Well, that's why I don't like because you know people are like, oh, I missed the open world in Adventure 2 like they did in Adventure 1. I'm like, why? They didn't do anything.
Yeah, like I don't mind. I think like a hub world. I think that like Unleashed had some interesting hub worlds because it had certain side quests to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I
Like
thought was nice.
Unleashed's hub world was fine because there was stuff to do.
Right.
Like there was like the camera shit,
That's my
the
argument
random
with
shit.
Breath of the Wild. I love Breath of the Wild as a game, but I cannot for the life of me. I hope that when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, there's more fucking shit to do in the world, aside from just find temples.
I kind of wish there was
I
more
think...
to fight against than just the bokoblins and such. Like I was
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Like
I
it's
was
such
hoping
a
to
vast
fight
world.
the Dark Nuts and
Right.
the like.
You know
That's what I
what?
mean.
You know what's
There's so
funny?
much to do. There's so much world to see. You can go to that mountain that you see, but what's at the mountain? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of going
Like-
to the mountain if there's nothing but another view?
It'd
Like,
be cool.
like-
You know-
it'd be
you know
cool
what's
if you could
funny,
fight
Peter?
all the other races too. Like if you could fight some of the Zorons and the
If you could like,
If you
yeah,
could- if you-
I would like it if you could piss off, like if you had like an alignment system, where like Link can piss people off, and then you have to kind of judge your path on that.
Honestly, like it's funny that you mentioned Breath of the Wild because the reasoning that you gave for not liking Odyssey so much is the same reason that I don't necessarily enjoy Breath of the Wild either. Is because I just think it's too much.
Too much. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Is that like I think Breath of the Wild is fine because the first Zelda game was essentially open world.
Oh, definitely.
Like-
But like, you know, like it's kind of the reason why we stopped playing Breath of the Wild on the channel
Right.
is that like there are just so many instances of being like, all right, the next task that we have to complete is over there, and it takes like a fucking hour
Here's the
just
thing.
to walk there, even without
Right.
interruptions.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have no problem with that setup as long as there's things on the way. A village,
Yeah,
a
but
person,
90%,
a field of enemies.
90% of the time,
something.
there's nothing on the way.
Right, exactly. I don't mind if it takes me an hour to get to the next objective because it's an open world. I think that's great. Immerse me to hell. But
It's
put shit there.
I'm sorry to mention it again. That's also why I hate Shadow of the Colossus.
There we go.
Fair. Again,
I
fair.
feel like that just like in terms of like just indifference in terms of like the game, right? Because like in Shadow of the Colossus you are just like in the middle of nowhere versus like Breath of the Wild's like ever expanding a map where there
Yes,
should
but
be
make
things there, and there
make
are
it,
things there.
If
I've also never been a fan
you're
of Breath
going
of the
to
Wild
do
either.
if you're going
Again,
to do
I
a
think it's
giant
fine,
open world and you're going to make me traverse it, if you want it to be a barren wasteland, fine. Then make platforming challenges.
Right.
Just give me something.
Right, exactly. Like,
Don't just make it like, oh, did I go the right direction? No, turn around.
I'm also not a big fan of like I'm not a big fan of the let's put a dirty durability system in our open world RPG game.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but like why though?
Oh god,
I don't like the durability system, and I also don't like.
I
like
hate
I
that.
get
also
I
don't
get
like
why
the
it's
rain
there.
realm.
I
I
understand
don't like
that.
the not being able to climb in the rain. I don't like that either.
Like
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, like,
bullshit.
I get the immersion factor, but I'm like, we're not here in VR.
yeah,
okay?
right. Like there's a
also
there's a difference, there's a fine
it's just
line.
inconvenient because there are times where it's like
the thing
mandatory and then you
with-
just like
the
I guess
thing-
gotta
The thing
wait.
with losing grip during the rain is that there's nothing that could really help you with it. Like there's no items that you could wear.
Exactly. There's
there's
no
nothing
grip
that you can
gloves or
take.
anything.
Yeah, there's nothing that could really help you with that. You're not like Ezio and Assassin's Creed. You can't just freaking
Right.
hold on to it forever and just wait
In,
the rain out.
In Jedi
Actually, you
Fallen
could,
Order.
technically.
Yeah, in Jedi Fallen Order, they get like you find along the way like these like claw gloves on Dathomir that like let you climb up like different walls and then climb up normal walls faster. And I'm like, if the Breath of the Wild gave you a fucking item that fucking let you climb, or you know what, bring back the fucking hook shot.
Yeah, I was
for a
gonna
game
say
where
like
you have
just
to climb
bring the
mountains.
hook
Yeah.
shot.
So you
Yeah.
can hook up to the top of a mountain. Like imagine
That
how
would
good the
be
hook
pretty
shot would have
sick.
been in 90% of Breath of the Wild.
But you do get a motorcycle.
And then the hook shot could have been with Breath of the Wild Link in Smash, and I wouldn't have to deal with actually having to grab people.
Yeah, imagine just shooting that while you're falling off the side of a mountain just to save yourself, and then you smack into the and then you
Exactly.
smack into the wall and then fall off anyway.
Or you smack into the wall and take some damage. And it
Yeah.
would just add another sense of immersion. Like, they could have done so much more if they had done something like that, but instead they're like, no, you're gonna fall down when it rains.
Also, I don't know. I kind of hate the thing of I guess this is Breath of the Wild roasting hour now. I don't know. I don't like the thing of like, oh, it's cold up here. I hope you have a coat. You know.
I hope you're chilly.
Yeah, like, I think I think that has, like, some space, but they should have tweaked it more.
They should have made sure that like because there are quests where that shit's mandatory. It's like they should have made sure that there was like one on the way, not that you just happen to come across one
or like a
because
simple
you know.
way to like use like simple materials like tree or something to like make something. You know what I mean? Like
I also feel like Link in that game is so weak.
he is.
Like you die so easy.
Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of the enemies hit hard even if you're playing on like a normal difficulty.
Like do you remember how fucking long we were fighting Waterblight Ganon?
Right, just because of how
Yeah,
how the
just
game
because
is.
like one hit from Waterblight Ganon takes out like almost all your health.
Right, which
you
at
know?
that point in the game is ridiculous because they know that you're gonna end up going because that's the thing, right? Like if it was like, oh, you can go anywhere, and you can go anywhere, but the game kind of steers you towards specific, you know, beasts first, right?
Yeah.
So like you're gonna end up seeing the fucking water blight first, probably. It's also generally they play in the order that you play them in, right? So like if you go to the Ganon fight without doing any of them, you end up fighting all the different Ganons at the castle, and they
Yeah.
go in the order that you would end up playing them if you did the Divine Beast. So the thing is that like there is a scripted way that it happens. So level how hard the bosses are. So if I'm
Yeah,
gonna go to
exactly.
Water Blight with like 3 hearts, then now granted you could say, oh, but then you can generally go to so many temples and get a bunch of hearts beforehand, and you're right, you could. But that's the sense of immersion they say. If you can go to the castle first, then of course you can get 10 hearts right off the bat. But that doesn't mean everyone's going to. So make the bosses not hit as hard.
It's the same problem that I have with like Skyrim, where like you go to a temple, but like there's no like gauge of like how ready you are for that temple.
Right. There's just
It
I
just
agree,
says like
yeah.
go, and then like you get there and like a spider just kills you instantly.
there's just
That's why
right. There's just a
sneak
thing.
is so important to spec into.
It's just one of those
almost
things where
necessary.
like they needed to tweak it more. That's my thing with it, right? Like just like I see like the ideas they had were fine, and again, I had fun playing it. I played the DLC of Breath of the Wild too, but they just should have tweaked
they
certain
need
things.
just yeah, in the sense of Skyrim, that they need to just give you a warning of like, hey, it's recommended that you be between blank and blank level if you're going into this area.
Yeah.
You know.
Skyrim's weird
don't
when it
do
comes
that.
to that in that regard, because like
that
you
was
can
one of the reasons
kind of do
why I
everything in
hated
that game
Fallout
being
3
kind of
so
under
much
leveled.
when I
It
was
just really
young.
depends. Like I've been doing a lot
Fallout-
of like just
Fallout
watching random
3
videos
I
on shit,
hated
like
'cause I was
doing
young.
things like with not taking any damage or with this specific weapon. Like you can defeat the final boss with the Wabbajack weapon, which is like the completely RNG random bullshit weapon. But because there are certain effects that don't affect dragons, it primarily just deals like high damage spells. They're like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird thing where like Skyrim, like you can do a lot of you are vastly open to like random bullshit that you can do with it, right? Because it really depends. Like there's
But
like
right.
because I don't consider The Legend of Zelda to be like an RPG in that kind of sense.
Right.
Like, yeah, you can get different armor and you can get different weapons,
Right,
and you
but
get
it
your
is-
health and like you get all that
Right.
like stamina.
It still is technically a role-playing game.
yeah,
By default.
yeah,
By
like, but
definition.
it doesn't.
It's just
it
an
doesn't
action
feel
RPG.
like it, right? It just
Right.
doesn't feel like it's an open world RPG.
Right, well, it's not, right, so it's not an action RPG and it's not a JRPG. It kind of just is exactly like you name your character and then you take their place. So you are literally playing that role,
Yeah.
and that's all
I actually
want
to see what it is categorized under. It probably is.
I think it's RPG. You're role-playing as Link. It's like a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, but with so little detail. Like, there's detail, but, like, you don't decide that much, right? So you're Link, you have these hearts.
It's
you
less
get
detailed,
that's
more
it.
choice. You have a lot less choice in what goes on.
That's what I mean. So yeah, you're by definition it is a role-playing game, but it's very limited until you get to Breath of the Wild, where you can decide a little more, but they kept it very limited again. Here's the thing: we are getting Breath of the Wild 2 whenever the fuck they decide to show more, and hopefully they do make Zelda like some type of playable or some way of assistance, so that you have slightly different things going on. So maybe we can get magic again, right? Like the rod items and stuff.
Oh,
and the
okay.
other,
It's
like,
it's
other
labeled
Zelda
it's
games
labeled
like
as
that.
an action adventure I respect
Oh,
that.
okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
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 I
okay.
didn't. I forgot action adventure was technically.
Yeah,
its
like
own
because it's definitely
genre.
Like a
it definitely
thing, yeah.
isn't under the category of like role playing, like art, like a
But
art, like
by
action
but
adventure
by
RPG.
by definition, it is technically a role playing game. I've seen a lot of people call it role playing because you are playing the role of Link.
Alright.
In the same way Pokemon is, because anytime you name your character and you sit in is slightly RPG. It's slightly role playing. You're taking that role, especially because Link doesn't talk.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna say that's gonna leave a sour taste in my mouth, but no, I understand.
No,
Like
that's what I mean.
I get it. Like, it's one of the things. Like, yeah, I can see it. I'm just gonna sit here like.
It has, here's my point is, it has room to go there if they want to, and they were like, let's go there a bit more with Breath of the Wild, and then it was weird.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea that every game coming out in general has to be open world. That seems to be what the
I know
gaming industry
that was
is
like a big thing. Actually, I remember one of my friends talking about that. But I definitely feel like now it's definitely calmed down with like a lot of games being delayed and stuff like that. So I feel like we're not seeing it as often. Like I know Ghost of Tsushima comes
No.
out literally in a couple of weeks. That's very open world.
Yes,
as
it's coming out. That's coming out. Very soon.
Cyberpunk is coming out in November now
Well,
instead of December.
right.
I just hate that like a common criticism of games now is like that they're too linear, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly. My thing with it, right, is that there are certain games that I'm like, I think that's fine. Make that open world. Games like Cyberpunk, where you're gonna be exploring mostly a city, that should be open world. There's a lot you can do in a cityscape. That's fine. Things like Zelda probably shouldn't be that open world, because Zelda's always been vaguely open world, right? Because you can go to this area, but you don't have the item for it. Stuff like that. That's fine for Zelda. But when you make a world where you're like, oh, you can go to the final boss first go, and it's like, okay, but why?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like you're like the player shouldn't have that much give, because it's almost like you're giving people Little Big Planet and saying, okay, but there are no stages, you only make your own. Right? Like, that's it. Like, the game is, you make your own, and that's it. And it's like, okay, that's kind of fucked up. Like, even Minecraft has a seed generator, right? Where you end up in a world. But when you give the player too much control, it kind of makes the game eh.
Yeah.
Well,
because it suffers from the thing of, like, there's so much to do that, like, you don't know what to do.
Right, what do you do? Exactly. But that's the thing, right, is that there's certain games that's okay with. Like, I remember when Mirror's Edge Catalyst came out, the first thing that I had heard about it, because I couldn't play it for a long time until I got a PS4, the first thing I heard about Catalyst was, oh, you can just run around the city. And I'm like, fuck yeah! Because that's what Mirror's Edge needs. There are games that, like, and yeah, it's another cityscape game, so it figures. But, like, there are games that genuinely can feed off of the open world environment, and games that just shouldn't. That should be semi-linear. Like, I think Zelda, like I said, has a good way of doing it where you need this item. You can go to this area, but you need this item to actually progress. And that's an okay open world. It's limited, you can still explore, but you're not going to get too far because you didn't do this part of the story yet. That's fine. No one should complain about that, because that's not as limited as... There's way more limited you can get. That's fine. But again, open world has its place. That's fine, but that's all I'm saying. There shouldn't be... Games shouldn't be leaning towards everything should be open world, because it's going to just get too ridiculous.
Yeah, that and I just feel like a game being too linear is, like, not a valid, like, complaint, you know?
There are certain moments where I can see it being bad, but, like, we haven't seen that many games get to that point, you know what I mean?
Like I've heard that be just to circle it around, I guess. I've heard that be a common complaint of, like, Sonic or Crash, is that it's too linear, and I'm like, they're platformers.
Right, a lot of people's complaints when they say, like, linear for Sonic is usually the hold right to win. And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, that is true for some of the entries, more recently getting more so. There is a little more because you have, you know, you can boost here and get to the higher path, you know what I mean? Like, there's still a little more to it, so it's not as bad, but that's what I mean. Like, I can see where that complaint would come in, but I don't think I've seen anything that egregiously does it yet. I can see where certain game franchises could get there. I feel like where open world should end up being should be in terms of stuff like VR. Because we're finally starting to get full games with Half-Life Alyx. I think if you want to do more open world stuff, put it in VR, because that's where the immersion needs to be. Because we're already trying to feel immersed. I don't want to walk into a wall and it tells me, sorry, can't go there yet.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but I want to. Because
or like
I'm in VR. Like, I want to experience this world.
The thing I hate most with VR right now is when you, like, are trying to, like, do a thing in the game and then a message pops up in your face that's just like, you're out of the play area, you know?
Right. I think that's the thing, right? And I've read up on this, and I was gonna sound very weebish, whatever. I have looked into, like, are people trying to get closer to stuff like the Nerve gear, where it's so immersive, like where you're getting to the point where it can attach other senses, because it is possible. It is something that technology can do. It just takes a lot of money to do so. And I'm like, that's where I want VR to get. I do want us to get to something like that, where, like, you sit down, you put it on, and then for all intents and purposes, you're in that game.
I don't know how I feel about like open world, like, being like the VR thing, only because, like,
I just feel like that's where it deserves to be more so than in general games.
I just feel like it'd just be at that point it would just be too expensive, and I feel like in terms of the doing VR stuff and just, like, dealing with, like, playing the game for so long in VR where you have to take a break and take it off, because then at that point that just, like, why would I want to stop playing the game?
Right,
without it, right? Like, that's what I'm
Yeah,
not,
but you
like...
can make that argument about any VR game, open world or not.
We've already experienced stuff like that where you have to take a break with stuff like the Wii, where, like, just by design your wrist is going to start hurrying because of the way the games are. So the games on the Wii would all tell you to take a break.
I never took the breaks, not even when they told me to.
No, I never took a break either. But we were all young when we were playing the Wii, and we weren't about to get fucking carpal tunnel immediately. But that's why it constantly told you to take breaks, and so we've already experienced stuff like that happen. So I get the situation there, and yes, finances are another thing in the gaming industry. So we can talk about what we want in gaming all ding dong day, But if they don't have the money to make this or that, we're not going to get it. That's understandable.
I feel like it's just like an expense thing, if anything, because like you have to put more time into like the development of that and like making
Right.
it like.
No, and I agree, but we're being very, very open about, where we want certain things in the game to go and where we think it would be best fit, and that's where I think it would be. Even, like, set aside the money, like, yeah, this is where I think it would be best fit. Do I think it'll happen anytime soon? Probably not, because you're right, there's money involved. But but until then, everyone's just gonna be like, hey, open world, please, and it's like, maybe not, thank you very much.
Give it its time. I think it's like running its course. Like
It's not a matter of games have done it poorly. It's a matter of I don't think we should have every game trying to be open world, because that's what gaming is right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's just too much. Like, you should never go every game. Like, it's like if Sonic came out and every game should be fucking characters really fast. And it's like, no, what are you talking about? And it's the same thing here. It's like, not every game should be this one thing or have this exact feature. Like, look what happened. We ended up getting Death Stranding, which, while I see where it's good, it's a lot of just aimless traveling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It really
and it's
is.
like-
man, you're
Yeah,
just walking.
I'll agree with that.
That's where too much open world desire ends
I mean,
up,
the
is where
thing with Death Stranding though, I feel like it's a game that's very I don't want to say hit or miss, but like a lot of like, hey, do you like Hideo Kojima's work? Yeah, you're gonna like this game. But like, if you don't know
Right.
how weird that guy can get,
right, and
then
I
you're
agree
not
with that
you're gonna sit
statement.
there and gonna be like,
Yeah.
well, what the hell is this game about?
I agree with that statement, because I do like Death Stranding for all intents and purposes, but I can tell that I'm like, man, I don't like that this game is mostly just walking. You know what I mean?
I can see where what you're talking about, because like, I also like Death Stranding, like all in all, but also like I just cutscene city in the beginning, and like a lot of like just walking, like to me I played Metal Gear, like the whole series, and Metal Gear is a game where you really have to kind of think
Right.
and like think on your toes, where Death Stranding to me is more of a game where you're just kind of mindlessly walking to the next location.
Right. And then
Like, sure, there's like a type of like strategy to it. Like, you got to figure out like what terrain. You got to make sure that you're balanced. You got to make sure like what you should have with you, or like if there's like a rope or a ladder, or et cetera, yada yada yada, whatever. Who cares?
right.
And it's a very zen game to me, except when they're fucking like grabbing at your fucking ankles.
Yeah.
and like, and also
But like it's mindless.
Right.
To me, it's mindless.
Right, and listen, my favorite game is Journey, right? So I'm not gonna be sitting here and say walking bad, but like, because that's all Journey is. But Journey has this essence of, this isn't gonna be like this big epic action game. This is exactly what the title is Journey. Like, and then right off the bat, you're told, hey, this is gonna be a story told without speaking. Like it is in all intents and purposes an art piece of a game. And that's the thing, is that like Death Stranding had the same energy of like, this is Kojima's concept. This is what was in his head, his child. But it's also like a AAA game. Like, it has the facade of like, this is this epic AAA game, and it's like, it's not really. It's more of an art piece. The only thing is, Journey was honest about it essentially being an art piece, and Death Stranding wasn't. That's why I can handle walking in Journey more than I can handle walking in Death Stranding, because Death Stranding has the facade that I should be expecting more.
Yeah, then like just thinking about like how fucking much is in like I hate to say it, but it's like, if you're gonna compare things, like if you're gonna think Kojima, like you can't help but compare to Metal Gear.
Right, exactly.
And like Metal Gear just has so much. Like, shit is constantly happening, and yes, the cutscenes are like a fucking hour long, but like they deserve it.
You could argue that a lot of that has to, like, you could argue that a lot of Metal Gear has to do with, like, there were different people that he had worked with when he was with, I think, what was it, Konami? When he was with Konami, there were probably different teams that he worked with that were probably able to, like, he was bounced ideas off of, whereas Death Stranding.
Well, exactly.
is clearly,
I think
Kojima.
the main bad thing about Death Stranding is it's very clear that when Hideo Kojima started working on it, there was no one there to be like, "Hey Kojima, no.
It's exactly the reason why like Final Fantasy 15 ended up pretty okay, is because they took Nomura off, because he was just spending too much time trying to polish it to high hell. And it's like, I think every developer, even if they are somewhat good at developing games, needs someone to tell them no, because it's the same thing with like a writer or a director. Like you need other filters, because eventually it's gonna get to the point where it's weird and too much. Like George Lucas. Look, George Lucas, people stopped telling him no, and then like you got weird shit where like if you let George Lucas talk, you got shit where like, oh yeah, the music in the cantina, yeah, it's like space jazz, right? Yeah, jizz. What?
Yeah.
And it's like at a certain point, the creative mind is just a little too creative.
I think what George Lucas originally did want for like Indiana Jones 2, I think for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I think he helped work on it, was like aliens and shit, and then Spielberg was like, all right, let's take this away from you.
Well, yeah, well that happened in
let's
Crystal
take
Skull.
this away from you.
That happened in Crystal Skull, though. Aliens.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, I can understand.
Yeah.
I
There
can
just has
understand.
to be a filter.
I can get it.
It's just because like Kojima started working on the game, and the people who worked on it with him were probably Kojima fans, and now because of Metal Gear, Hideo Kojima is seen as like an industry legend, so
Right.
like no one wants to say no.
also-
It's just like, you know,
also he's
George, like you said, like George Lucas with Star Wars, it's like he's such like a film legend at that point because he made Star Wars, even though he fucking didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
But like also, but like that's the thing, right? Is like Kojima himself, like, and it's the same thing with Nomura. Like I hate Nomura to high hell, but I also say that Nomura is one of the boys. So like Kojima, it's the same thing. It's like Kojima's like clearly there's like good shit there, but you just need that filter. You know,
Yeah.
you need the team. You like you cannot say that any of them can make a game by themselves that isn't going. Like it might be okay to play because they find developers, but they clearly wouldn't be able to filter out all their ideas, and you'd get this mess of a game. You know, if any
Yeah.
one of them. And Death Stranding was close. Like there clearly was some filtering because it wasn't complete. Like again, I enjoyed the game, which means it wasn't entirely ass. But if Kojima had absolutely zero filter, it would have been an absolute mess.
Because like what people like fail to realize is that Kojima he's almost, even though he makes video games, he's almost like a filmmaker.
He wanted to be a filmmaker.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
he wanted to
like
be
he's
a
a
filmmaker
filmmaker
at
first, which I think is what kind of contributes to the problems with Death Stranding, is because Kojima is very like story heavy, and the problem with that is that there wasn't it's almost like they forgot to make a game.
Right. Well, it's exactly what I said earlier on the discussion. It's like it is essentially what Journey was, an art piece of a game, but it has the facade of, hey, there's AAA game Death Stranding is coming out.
Yeah.
You know, and where it's like everyone's like, oh, I can't wait to play Death Stranding, this fucking new AAA title from Kojima. And listen, I don't know for sure if it was considered AAA or not, but as far as it goes, it had the facade of it. It had the release and hype around it as a big title that you'd expect more than an art piece from. But it was just an art piece game where Kojima he flexed his creative muscles. And it's like, that's great. And again, I liked it because of that, because it was creative, the story was pretty fine, and it was, you know, it was whatever. But it was a lot, you know what I mean? Like, so that's where it is. Just have a filter, just have a team, and you're all right. You know what I mean? Like Kingdom Hearts wouldn't be any type of successful if there wasn't the filtering from the rest of Square Enix and a bit of Disney.
Yeah.
Like if we get to the point in the franchise of Kingdom Hearts where they're like, we're not going to be doing with Disney anymore. A, it's just not Kingdom Hearts anymore. But B, like, it's gonna go ape shit, because even though Disney went a little too far with its control in 3, the matter of fact is we need the Disney filter so that it's not all Nomura bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you say, oh, nothing happens in the other Disney worlds until you get to the end of the game, well, it's like, well, good, because if it was just Nomura bullshit, I would be completely sick of the game. I'm glad we had to take a break and go talk to Buzz Lightyear for a bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it needs that.
Yeah, dude. Unpopular video game opinions. Let's go. I also gotta realize what you meant by that, like video game, not just like Pokemon opinion, and then 2 hours later, here we are. Now I'm trying to think of like an unpopular video game opinion, but I don't think I have one.
I got another
I
one
mean, like,
that
I mean,
I've spouted
like,
before,
mine's-
but I never really talked about it.
What is it, Bobble?
I like Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh, that's right, you do.
I don't play that franchise, so I didn't.
I forgot you like that.
Well, because, like, you know, I played it, maybe this kind of contributes to why. It's like, I played Duke Nukem Forever expecting a crock of shit. But, like, I played it, and, like, it plays fine. It's a good first-person shooter. I think it's just the 12 years of hype, which I didn't experience.
Right.
You know, just being, like, a casual Duke Nukem fan.
We have to realize that anything in the entertainment industry as a whole, like, hype is part of the project itself, right? So, like,
Yeah.
people try to say that, like, oh, you know, like, I'm not gonna talk about the beforehand, but the movie itself or the game itself, and it's like, no, the hype is a part of it, because that's what you're expecting to get on the way in, and if you have those expectations, then that means the people behind the project gave you those expectations in some way.
The only problem that I see with the hype for Duke Nukem Forever is that I think, like, even from the beginning it was misplaced. It's like, it's Duke Nukem, for one thing. Like, it's not like it's a fucking Mario game. It's a first-person shooter with, like, 80s action movie humor and, like, nothing else. Like, that's all it is. So, like, when you know, make a sequel to that, it's gonna be the same fucking shit, where it's, like, all sex jokes and shit like that. So, like, what the fuck were you expecting of a sequel?
Yeah.
Did I lose everybody?
No, sorry.
No,
there
you're
we go.
just very quiet.
I was listening.
Sometimes you gotta sit there and think of it. Like, I don't know.
Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, like, it's amazing, because, like, people were like, oh, like, you know, people say, like, oh, like, you can't just, like, live up to, like, 12 years of hype. Like, there's no way you could live up to that kind of expectation. But I'm like, why were you so hype in the first place?
right, exactly. Well, exactly, right. Like that's
Especially
what
when
it,
you're a
that's what I
fan
mean.
of a
Like,
series, like,
you get what
just wanna
you
see
get when you get
anything
going into
from
it, right?
you
So
know?
like, let's look at the movie side of the hype train, like aesthetic, as best way I could put it. Like when Star Wars Episode 7 came out, everyone was like, "Oh my God, I'm getting this vibe. I haven't felt this way since Episode 4 was being teased." And it's like, well, guess what? You got Episode 4. So it's like a movie company or a game company, anyone in the entertainment industry has to set the expectations on their way. That's what trailers are for. That's what, you know, that's what interviews about the projects are for. You're setting the audience's expectations. And by doing that, you're setting up what people should think of the game. And if what they get is not what they were told they should think of the game, they're going to be disappointed. You're going to get negative reviews. So it's all a part of the whole project. That's what we have to understand as a whole. I've seen a lot of people try to block that out and go, I'm going to wait for the game's release. And I'm like, you can say, like, I actually say that all the time too. I'm saying I'm going to wait till it's out and I play it, and then I'll judge. But no matter what you say, it's the same thing with, like, oh, I only judge a person on their personality. It's like, no, for the first 5 seconds when you see somebody, you're only looking, you only know their appearance. Same thing with this. You're going to say, I'm going to wait for it to come out, but you're always going to be thinking about what you've seen so far. Or what you've heard so far. It's always going to be there. You're always going to have a slight expectation. Like, if they only announced Crash 4, and they showed some gameplay, right, and then, for, God forbid, let's say it comes out and it's terrible, but you were expecting hype because you saw this trailer. They set the expectations because it's coming out soon, and the gameplay will look really good like past Crash games, like the remakes. So
but the thing is
you're
that
expecting
with Duke Nukem though, it's like they showed off and then scrapped so many ideas that it's kind of a wonder how it got so much hype in the first place.
Right.
And, like, you know, playing the game, I was expecting, like, a glitchy, boring mess. But no, it's a serviceable RPG with a good sense of humor. And, you know, it's fun just to kill things and to punch things and to drink beer and to see strippers,
Right.
you know? It's just a fun game.
It's like, it's essentially, and I'll compare it to this real quick.
It's like, it's fun to just turn your brain off
Right.
and go.
Which is what Duke Nukem
Like,
is.
It's fun
it's a
to turn your
parody.
brain off and go, oh, he threw poop that funny. Because our sense of humor starts off like saying duh idiot, then evolving to man that was stupid. That's not even that funny. Then when we get older to like 24, 25, de-evolve into duh idiot. Right? Because it's funny. Like I think Uranus is funny. Like it's just mindless humor.
I'll use this as another example as well. At this point, right? Let's say, for all intents and purposes, let's say Sega at some point in the future announces Sonic Adventure 3. The hype train around Sonic Adventure 3 is that people are expecting a continuation of Adventure 2. Gameplay, physics, characters, story, everything. The realism is that it won't be. Sonic 06 was supposed to be Adventure 3. Had nothing to do with the Adventure 2 game. Sonic Unleashed was supposed to be Adventure 3. Different world. Even if they were scrapped concepts, I can't imagine a version of the game that would have anything to do with the adventure games. So the thing is, anytime people think about I want Sega to announce Sonic Adventure 3, I don't anymore. Because everyone will be expecting a continuation.
Well,
that we won't
the hype
get.
train would be so high that there's no way.
Exactly. There's no way they could pull it off.
And that's one where like it to me it makes sense, because Sonic Adventure 3 has been a game that has been asked for, that the style has been asked for, that if they ruin it, they fuck up.
Right, exactly. That's Sega's
Whereas
last
with
chance,
Duke Nukem,
right?
they gave you what Duke Nukem is, and you were disappointed.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is that like overall, like even if a company doesn't, right? Even if a company doesn't do anything to do the hype train, if it's just a game that is high on people's list to want, like sequel-wise, they're gonna already have expectations, and companies have to prepare for that situation, right? So like I think the big thing with and I don't follow Duke Nukem as a franchise. I don't have any real insight in that, but from what has been explained tonight specifically, it just sounds like people expected something, and while what you told me is that it essentially is what Duke Nukem was, for better or for worse, like you turn your brain off. For like people were hyping themselves up, and the company just wasn't prepared for that hype. Like they didn't make the hype, so they weren't prepared for it. But I think a lot of companies now have to expect that, especially when they're making a sequel. But even when they're not, big companies like Nintendo or Sega or Capcom, there's expectations on those companies now in general.
From what I remember with Duke Nukem Forever, I think like they switched to Gearbox halfway through. Or like something like that, so a lot of people blame Randy Pitchford and stuff like that on it. There is a What Happened episode. I'll try to link it later. Get a little bit more insight on it.
Yeah.
Regardless of like the overall situation, it's just a fact that like we're in an era of expectations now for the gaming industry, and everyone's expecting something of everybody, and companies just have to be more aware. It's like when people tell YouTubers, "Oh, you have to be aware of your audience," and it's like, but
hell, I feel the same way about like Sword and Shield. It's like when you announced that you weren't going to have like the national decks, right? Like you could not have known that people were going to be pissed.
Right, exactly. Like I understand that there are things that we as just commentators and players of the games are not going to fully grasp about the design influences of the games, right? So like we don't know what happened behind Nintendo scenes that made them decide we're not going to put every Pokemon in. Maybe it was just money grab.
they claimed it was space. They claimed it was space.
Right.
But then they show off a Curry Dex and a Pokemon camp that no one asked for, and then you don't expect people to be like, well, why is that in there instead of, what people want?
Exactly. I think what ended up happening was they were like, we want to put new features in the game, and then they're like, well, what about the other Pokemon? And they're like, well, we can't. And then Nintendo's like, well, let's focus on the new stuff because it's new. And that's every game. Every game, any sequel, they're going to be focusing on new features more than bringing back old ones, even if that includes other Pokemon. Hold on, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me finish. I think people would have been, because they're releasing other Pokemon now from the national decks in DLC, which is annoying because it's a paywall for Pokemon. But either way, like, I think people would have been maybe a little less pissed off about it if Nintendo had been fully aware going in. But instead of being like, we understand that this will upset you, they went, we're just not gonna have all Pokemon. And they didn't say anything else.
And that was it.
Exactly. Because they weren't aware of it, people felt like it was like, they didn't care.
Or they could have at least been like, oh, we don't have all the Pokemon, and we know that may upset you for now.
Right, for now, exactly,
like,
exactly. They could have been aware. And if they'd been aware, the reception would have been at least lukewarm. Like, it would have just been, eh.
Like, it was the same thing when they decided that Nintendo Online was going to be a paid service instead of, like, a free service.
Right.
Like, they were, like, surprised that people were like, what do you mean?
It's the exact same thing as Blizzard with, what, you guys don't have phones? It's like, you guys know that they're expecting Diablo 4, right? Like, you guys know it's not really about the phone. Like, you kind of just disappointed them because it was a big announcement for Diablo mobile game. Like,
yeah.
It's like, it was just like, it's like people just gaming companies just need to be more aware. I hate to say it because, again, the comparison with YouTubers is that those are one person channels, and now you're expecting this one person to be, like, in that much control of themselves when, like, as a viewer, you yourself individually probably aren't in that much control of your life. And it's the same thing. It's like, but for gaming companies to not be as aware, like, there are individual YouTubers that are more aware of their audience than gaming companies have been. So,
the thing is that I feel like gaming companies don't really have that much of an excuse because video game fans are so vocal.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They don't have an excuse. So it just annoys me that, like, that's what has to be the case. Like, you have to, like that's what has to change in the gaming industry, but yet it hasn't. I mean, it's gotten a little better per se, but since stuff like, what, you guys don't have phones, but, like, because that was a pretty fucked up scenario. Okay. That was a big meme, but, like,
yeah,
like, it's gotten a little better since then, but it's still an issue because Last of Us 2 is a big deal, right? To go to that real quick, like, Last of Us 2, their expectation was already set high because of Last of Us 1, and immediately, like, Neil Druckmann, like,
he dropped the
ball big time, and then almost didn't expect people to react the way they did. Because, it's Last of Us. How are you guys gonna hate it? And it's like, because it's not the title that makes the game. It's the game.
Yeah.
You can't
exactly.
You can't rely on the legacy.
That and, like, it's like, how can you ask that when you literally kill off the most beloved character?
Right.
Like, how do you and then expect the players to be okay with playing as their killer?
Right. Like, I understand wanting to kill a character that is important in the story because as an acting teacher I had at one point said, that is the ultimate exit. You cannot have a more penultimate exit than death.
It wasn't done properly.
But it wasn't.
Yeah,
it
was
wasn't
not
done properly. And you're
the
right. You end up playing as
pacing
the
of
person that killed him.
Story wasn't done properly either.
That's what I mean. Is that, like, I understand wanting to do that move. It's not that killing off the character is in general is the problem. It's how it was done, and how the entire game around it was also executed. Like, it wasn't going into it. It wasn't executed well, and then at that point you're like, fucking really? Like, you're already upset, or you're already not fully okay with decisions made, and then at that point it's just a cherry on top of it. You're just like, wow, okay. Like,
well, because it's like, from a storytelling standpoint, just for, like, video games in general, it's like, how do you kill off the most beloved character and then make us feel good about siding with the person who did it?
Right.
Like, you can't do that. There's no way.
Among other decisions, like, hey, I don't want to kill a dog this time. That's okay. Kill the dog. Kill the dog. Kill the dog. Why'd you do it?
I disagree with that. I think it is possible. It's just that
they didn't do it.
The pacing was so off. Like, you need to introduce a character, have you grow to like the character, and then realize that, oh my god, they killed someone that I cared about, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, I've been through other stuff with this character, so I kind of care about them too, you know? But they didn't do it properly, unfortunately.
You
They
can't
didn't do it properly.
that, and like you said before, like I don't know, I'd never watched the actual scene, but you said before, I think Mori said it, where like it's like Joel getting killed was like nothing. Like it wasn't.
It was basically like
It's not that it was not.
they didn't take the character. They didn't take Joel's personality into account. They kind of changed his personality to
fit the narrative.
to like fit the
pu-
narrative.
to fit the narrative and push along the plot line. It was like a situation where it's like, is that really Joel? No. But does it advance the plot? Obviously, yes.
It's
know,
it's exactly
that kind of stuff happens
right.
in storytelling
It's
sometimes.
exactly what happened with Luke in episode 8 and 9, or episode 8 specifically, where like we need
Yeah, they just like
we
they
need
don't
a
consider
reason-
the character's personality.
right. We need a reason for like there to be like an
We're just
issue
like, we wanna
with
do
Rey's
something
training.
with this
So let's
character,
make
we're gonna
Luke
do it.
this angry fucking old man that hates the Force, even though he shouldn't be this. But like everything about that was right. And it's like for some reason people, writers, directors, like they all decide, hey, we just want to tell the story. Oh, popular character that has this exact character trait that we should never change. We're gonna change it for our narrative. That already isn't
that's
necessarily
like the
good.
worst thing you could do is like whenever there's like a thing in a movie, video game, whatever work, and like, you know, it's an established character, but then like they need to advance the plot, and then it's just like, oh, why did like, this person do this thing? Oh, you know, plot.
Right. The big
Like,
the
no, that's
biggest-
not how that
So
works.
someone acts completely outside of their
Right.
personality.
The immediate
Yeah.
character, the immediate thing that you can have a flaw in any production ever with is as soon as you realize, oh, this is out of character. Immediately. Like,
Yeah.
Once someone falls out of character, everyone for the most part will notice, and everyone
Yeah.
will call it out because it is if it's
Yeah.
out of character to that degree, it's gonna be noticed. It's gonna be a problem. You're not gonna just get away with that because you wanted to tell your story.
Like to bring it back to Sonic Forces, like you remember how fucking pissed everyone was when Tails cowered in fear and called for
Oh, yeah.
Sonic to help him?
At this
Because that's completely against his character.
Well, hold on. It wouldn't be against the character if he didn't go through 3 different repeat arcs of him not being that way at the end of his arc. Like,
Yeah.
like he's gone through 3 different times. He's gone through, I need Sonic. I don't need Sonic. And now I need Sonic again. And it's frustrating. You can't act like you can write
God, there's so many
characters
things
and
they
then
do
not
with
write your
Forces.
characters.
I like they just nerf Silver into the ground.
Bro, like Forces does a lot of things to
Knuckles
characters that are
nerfs
awful.
every-
Yeah, I
Forces
just
nerfs
hate
all
how
the
it's
Sonic
implied that, like,
characters.
they're all
Sonic has a great
completely
cast of
useless without
characters, and
Sonic.
then Forces is like, guess what? They're all here. Guess what? They do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Mike just said, it's like they make it like the main plot of the game is that everyone is useless without Sonic.
Yeah, what was the adventure series then? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
Exactly. Amy,
Like everyone held
Amy
their
has a
Big the
character
Cat
arc.
held his own.
Amy had a character arc in Sonic Adventure where she's like, "Hey, I can hold my own. I can do my own thing." And it's like, "Cool. Never again."
Yeah.
In fact, now she's
Never
blind
Completely-
because she sees every other hedgehog as Sonic.
Yeah, yeah. She becomes blind.
Yeah, like
That's
Knuckles,
her.
Knuckles is supposed to be this powerful freaking echidna warrior that's like tasked with protecting the Master Emerald, and you're like implying that he couldn't do anything. Like,
Well, yeah, exactly.
it's just
That's the
ridiculous.
funniest thing too. Is that like I said earlier, right? Knuckles becoming a musclehead for like Boom. I didn't have that much of a problem with that specifically because Knuckles was already like, how could you let him trick you again, Knucklehead? Like, it's like, okay, I get where they get that from. But he still has to be powerful.
I loved Knuckles'
You know what I mean?
character
He
in
still
the
has to
beginning.
be
He was just
useful.
like a fuck you kind of character. I loved
Yeah,
that.
like
I don't care if
and
you
and
make
also
Knuckles-
he struggled with like asking for help. He struggled with like, you know, being a social person because he was isolated on the
He's
island for so
Piccolo.
long.
He's Piccolo.
Yeah.
He's stubborn.
He's Piccolo. Yes, he's
I
Piccolo.
like that about
He's
him.
stubborn,
though.
but he knows where his strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah, but like they don't do that anymore.
They don't.
The most that they like, I'm honestly surprised that they made him like the general of fucking like Sonic Forces.
Well, you know what's funny? Like from the perspective of what Knuckles should be, I'm not surprised. But from the perspective of what Knuckles ended up being, I'm surprised they made him General. You know what I mean? Like, the way that they play Knuckles, he shouldn't be General. The way that Knuckles should be played, he would be General. Like, it's like, they played this weird thing where it's like, hey, they did the thing. How's Knuckles in the game? Sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it doesn't...
Or like, you know, I don't
Because
know.
in the comics, it makes
Forces
sense.
did
You
many.
see why Knuckles is a general in the comics, right?
Yeah.
Like, the comics, the reason why the comics are so good right now is because they write the characters as the characters should have been written in the games. That's why I want the comics to end up more canon, because, and for God's sakes, let the writers write the games. Let the writers of the comics write the games.
For God's sake, just let Ian Flynn write a game.
Like,
for God,
he doesn't have to.
Everyone's called for it. Ian wants to do it.
He doesn't have to be, like, we're not asking for him to develop the game. We're just asking for him to write
We just want him to write it.
Yeah.
Why are you so obsessed with the fucking writers of Happy Tree Friends to fucking write your Sonic game when you have someone right here that everyone wants to do it and does a fantastic job?
Right. Like, it upsets me. It does. The Sonic franchise, it honestly, you know what's funny about the Sonic franchise? It upsets me more than Kingdom Hearts at times.
Yeah.
Like, I'm upset with Kingdom Hearts for a lot of reasons. But Sonic is just kind of just depressing because I know that I'll never get myself out of Sonic of my own free will. Like Kingdom Hearts, I'm stuck in it because I want to find out what continues to happen.
I'm not gonna lie.
Doesn't have a continuing story, and I just want to keep playing.
I think like if the next Sonic game is like as bad or almost as bad as Forces, I might be out.
That's fair. I know for a fact that I would, in that hypothetical theory, I would end that game going, I'm done, and I wouldn't be. I just know me that well. Like, I know for a fact that, like, the next Sonic game comes out, I'm like, I guess I'll check it out.
I would just, like, what I would honestly do is if the next game is crap, like, in the same vein that Forces was, I would be out until I hear that a Sonic game is great.
Right.
Because I wouldn't want to waste the money. Because at this point, it's ridiculous.
Right.
At this point, you know what makes a good Sonic game, and you don't do it.
Right, exactly. And listen,
like, I know that the stereotype is that, like, you know, Sonic fans can't agree on anything, and, like, who knows what the fuck a good Sonic game is. But, like, you know the concepts that do work.
Right.
You know the concepts that people like. You just don't do it.
Right, like, you understand that we like the adventure gameplay as fans. You understand that we really like Mania. But we don't want it to be every Sonic game, right? Like, we don't want only classic Sonic back, because that's just annoying.
Yeah.
That's like the new Super Mario Bros. Series. It's overstaying its welcome. I wouldn't mind a fusion of, like, hey, here's a Mania game this year, and also this year, here's a modern Sonic game. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Do what they were gonna do with Boom, where they split two different Sonics between, like, what their plan was, we're gonna make more Boom games in this fashion and modern Sonic in this fashion. Do it with the classic and modern. Just keep that up, because you'll get the money for the classic games, like the confirmed money, because, like, the only thing they can do to ruin Mania is have Dimps make Mania. That's what they can do to ruin Mania style. But right now, if they just did Mania 2 and just did only original stages, they'd be fine. Confirmed almost the same amount of money. Just off basis. Even if the game that wasn't as good as Mania 1, but that was pretty alright. Still them the same amount of money. They can get the money for that and then do whatever the fuck they want with modern until something clicks. You know what I mean?
And, like, they just have to not be lazy.
Yeah, well, exactly. The big thing with Sega is that they need to finish their games. They need to make the games. Also, for all intents and purposes, this is specifically Sonic. Overall, I want Sega to not make a Sonic game for a bit. I need them to take a break. I need them because they have so many fucking other IPs that they keep renewing. They keep buying rights to Knight's website or Jet Set Radio. Like, they keep buying the rights to make these games, but they don't do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, just do it.
Like, people want it.
People want these.
It literally prints money.
Exactly. Like, you know, the problem that fucked me up with Sega the most is that exactly what you said with Sonic, but overall, they know what will make them money. Even if it's a bad Jet Set Radio game, even if it's a bad Knights game, you will make money off it just because people will want to try it out.
Yeah.
It's a new game in that franchise that hasn't had a new game in a while. You might get bombed for it if it's bad, but you'll make the money back. And that's what Sega needs right now. They need to make the money back. Because like we said before, no matter what dream sequence situation we want for gaming, we know for a fact that it's defined like anything else on the money involved. So Sega right now just needs to make money, and they know how to do that. They know what to do for it, but they won't do it. And that's mind-boggling to me. Like if I knew
It
that
really is.
if I had the secret to making money, like if I had the lemonade stand that had the literal fucking secret fountain of youth that was overly addicting, that only made me money, and there was no bad side to it, I wouldn't sit here going, but what do I do? I would do it. And Sega has that opportunity. The only downside was, oh, you'll get bad reviews if it's bad, but you'll make all the money back, and then you can make a better game. Or hire better,
think about it this way. How much money do you think just putting the name Billy Hatcher 2 out there would make?
Millions.
Knights 3, Jet Set Radio 3, fucking Space Channel 5 2, Samba 2, who cares?
Star 2. You'd still make fuck ton of money
anything
off Star 2, because Star has gained a cult following because it's a great game, but it was only
a Chow Garden spinoff.
They make so many fucking mobile games, and Sonic Dash is fun, and Sonic Forces is actually alright. Where's my Chow Garden mobile game? You were so coy to make a mini Chow Garden for the advanced game. Why not make a...
They would fucking make millions if they put microtransactions in a Chow Garden.
I'm not even kidding you. I'm a fucking shameless... I would pay my own money in a Chow mobile game. I would. I can actively say that I would spend money on microtransactions in a Chow mobile game.
It's mind-boggling that Sega literally has the formula of a money machine, and yet they just keep not just making Sonic, but being lazy with it. Are you it's to the point where it's like, are you even trying? Because that was the impression I got with Forces, is that like Mania was so good, Sega saw that and was like, well, fuck, and then like spit out Forces.
Right, exactly, because their plan was, okay, well, we'll do a little tie-in to Forces, because we want, like, the Sonic, like, as a whole, like, as a franchise, to have some vague connection. And then when suddenly Mania was this amazing thing, and they were like, uh-oh, I think behind the scenes, they knew going in that Forces wasn't going to do well. But they had to release it, and I'm like, kind of could have done a few things to tweak it before then. We kind of
could have, delayed the game like Mania.
Like, we would have, like, we're in a point in the gaming industry where like all of the top expected AAA games end up delayed in some way. Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed twice now.
Twice.
Like Kingdom Hearts 3 was on the back burner for 7 years, and it made all of its money back and then some. Just on the title alone. And it's Kingdom Hearts. It has a notorious backstory to it, but yet it made its money back. So if you're looking at those games and going, no, we have to get this game out because of course it's gonna work, no. Especially because Sega has the experience, the foresight of Sonic 06, Sonic Colors, Sonic at the Secret Ring, Sonic Unleashed, the
games that they're so afraid of, and yet they make the same they don't make the same mistake. They make the same base mistake.
Right. From the get-go, they rush the game out. They crunch everything. And, like, I get that crunch is all over gaming and entertainment as a whole. But they see where it does wrong, and they see other big fucking games succeeding from its delay. And yet, they go, no, we gotta rush it. And that's more on the higher-ups of Sega, right? Not the developers themselves. Sonic Team doesn't decide when their release date is. The developers don't decide
that's why my problem with Sonic games stems from my hate of Sega itself, rather than, Sonic Team.
Listen, you're right. Sonic is a tried-and-true name. They will always make some money off Sonic. Even if they keep going where they are right now for 10 more years, they'll still make some money off every release of Sonic. Because A, parents will see Sonic and go, great game for kids. And B, it's Sonic. He's got the name. Regardless of how bad people say the games are, he was up against Mario for years. And still sort of is, even though he shouldn't be, because Mario has beat him into the dirt.
Yeah,
but people will
like,
still compare the games
10 times over.
But that's the thing, is that because of that, his name will never fully die.
You know what else is another money machine that they just ignore? Constantly, they make endless sequels to the Mario and Sonic series. Make a fucking platformer.
Right. They keep going on the Olympic Games train
It's
instead
like,
of,
do something
but
else.
I think there's more behind the scenes stuff to that now that I think about it.
I understand that, like, there's more behind the scenes stuff, and, you know, they have to deal with Nintendo, but, like, if they have enough thing to be like Olympics,
I think,
like, come on, you can't be like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm not going to negotiate with Nintendo to make a platformer that will literally be like the highest selling game probably of the year.
Wait, well, here's the thing. I don't think it's dealing with Nintendo. I think because Sega has a specific deal with the company behind the Olympics, like, because there is a fucking business company behind the Olympics. They have like the specific deal with them, and I think that's what keeps making Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. And I think beyond
Okay,
that,
but like, you can't convince me that the deal is, all right, if Mario and Sonic come together in a video game, it has to be the Olympics.
I'm not saying that's the case. I just think that because of that, that's the only time that Nintendo and because, like, keep in mind, like, these are two different companies, and while Just Get Along is beyond point because they've worked together for so many years now, it's really more of a thing of they have to spend the time wisely in game industry. So I if the deal is, hey, we have to make this Olympic game, hey, we at this point are in a franchise deal of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games every time the new Olympics happens, I think at this point it's just that happens, and then they don't have the time to do Nintendo.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just saying, it's just another money machine that they just don't even try, you know?
Right. Well, right. And again, that's understandable. Like, Sega has so many different fucking things. If it's so coy on keeping itself in arcades with making new arcade cabinets for Mario and Sonic, or doing Crazy Taxi stuff and whatnot like that, if you're so coy on keeping yourself in arcade with pachinko and arcade games, then you know you have these, you know that you have symbols, and they keep buying time to use the IPs, right? They keep reinstating those IPs, but they don't use them, and it's like,
yeah,
you honestly at this point should either make a new game or give it to Nintendo. Give Knights, give it all to Nintendo if you're not gonna do it, because I'm getting
if you're not gonna, like, it's because it's like, what's the point? Why waste the money?
Right, exactly.
Why waste the money on, I might, you know?
It's like the shit with Mega Man. Like, I'm so glad that Capcom eventually released Mega Man 11, and it was actually okay, because like, if Mega Man, because like the shit that happened with Legends 3 upsets me to this day.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just glad that Capcom actually was like, yeah, it is a money-making thing, and we're gonna make Mega Man. Great, good, and I hope they do another X game. I hope they do another EXE. I hope they do more. I really do. I hope they do more Mega Man. But Sega should do the same thing, or just sell the fucking rights, because I'm getting sick of it now. I'm getting sick of these games just sitting, and I don't even care if they make a Jet Set Radio 3, but port Future to computer. It's on Xbox.
Yeah.
It's with Microsoft.
Port Future to literally anything.
But that's the thing. It's so easy to do Microsoft because it's on the Microsoft Xbox and it's on PC. Like Microsoft owns PC. Like, that's exactly, like, so it's such a direct line, and they don't do it. And people have asked for it. I'm like, I don't care if you make a new one, but port an old one. I don't even care if you change the textures. Release it as it is. I don't care if it looks crappy. People will mod it. Just give me the game.
Yeah.
Like, build it,
and like,
we will
not
come.
it's like, not even just the fans are asking for it. Fucking Naganuma himself is like, please.
Yeah. Well, also because people are like, hey, Naganuma, Jet Set Radio Future, and he's like, that's not me.
Yeah.
I don't like he's asking Sega for it because he just wants people to stop asking him for it.
He just wants to go on about his Family Guy funny
I
moments.
love Naganuma, but that besides, we should probably wrap up soon.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say let's just talk about Min Min and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Min Min.
I played a bit of Min Min.
Super quick. I haven't played her yet. I gotta buy her. She looks really cool.
Oh, she's out?
Yeah, she's out as of 2 hours
shit.
ago.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, I played a bit of Min Min literally while at the beginning of the podcast. I loaded it into a training
she
thing
looks
and
really
played
cool.
it.
arms, whatever. She looks cool. I thought it was gonna be twin tail, whatever. However, so super quick, me and my friends thought it would be like Springman or like Spring Boy, to like have
That would have set the Smash universe on, like the Smash community on
we
fire.
thought like the theory was gonna be like an assist trophy kind of lineup, and we thought that would be really cool. Well, my friend thought of it, and then we delved more into it. But then with Min Min, I forgot that Min Min was a spirit for Corrin.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
this challenger pack will be deconfirming spirits as fighters. Which I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know what spirits are in the game. There's a lot of
Well, bro,
ones.
like a lot of like big ones like Shantae and Rayman are now back on the table.
Here's the thing. It doesn't have to be the entire
Bottles.
pack
It
is
means
bad.
Kyle High can still be a character.
Right. It doesn't.
yeah.
It doesn't mean that the fighter pass itself is going to be all deconfirmed. Here's
I know
here's the spirit,
it's just a gamer
but
theory.
it does
That's
open the gates. It does open the floodgates.
it's just a gamer
There's
theory.
so many more characters that can be in it. Also, I haven't played all the Shantae games, and every time I do, I start, and like any other thing recently, I don't finish. But the thing is, I want Shantae in because I like Christina V. And I really fucking want her to have her fucking day in the sun getting into Smash.
Bro, I can't wait. If Shantae gets in Smash, I want a video of Steve crying
Oh my God.
when it happens.
It'd be so
Dude, I'll
funny.
cry. I'm not even into that franchise that much. I'll cry. Because it's like, I mean, listen, I'll cry if Sora gets in Smash.
Not gonna happen.
Here's the thing about that.
I can't wait for that to be on poorly aged things.
Here's the thing about...
Me too.
Here's the thing about Sora for Smash, though, is that every time someone says, here's why it's not gonna happen, another, like an interview with a Disney exec or Square Enix exec comes out where it's like, we want it to happen, and it's like, okay, so then why hasn't it happened? And then as soon as we're like, why hasn't it happened? Well, we're done with fighters. Oh, hey, another fighters pass. We're like, well, fuck. So it's like, you could say not gonna happen, but every time someone says not gonna happen, a thing comes out that deconfirms it just not happening. Like, it's always slightly open. Alright? Because now he's getting a game on the Switch, which is golden fucking path for him to be in Smash.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not even gonna get into that. Like, I still want
I'm a little disappointed that with the, like, I understand though, but like I'm a little disappointed that they didn't announce the second character along with Min Min.
Right, because immediately going into it, like, they announced the arms fighter prematurely. They just didn't announce who it was. So we should have gotten the second fighter with them.
Yeah, and that was like the first thing that they like replied to was like when the fucking like thing was like, oh, the arms character reveal. Like someone was asked, are we gonna get the second character? And they're like, no.
Here's the thing, and again, we got rid of this, so I'm gonna just keep it quick and short. Is that like, even like we're in a point now where you can't even say no. They only have they can keep adding fighter passes till the ding dong day. I don't think there will ever be someone that goes, that might be a little too many characters. Like, no, I think we're fine to keep adding characters. I don't give a shit because honestly, I don't want another Smash game until the next console.
Don't worry, neither does Sakurai.
If we're gonna, Sakurai didn't even want another Smash game.
Yeah, don't worry, neither does Sakurai.
Yeah.
It basically prints
like,
money.
If you want to call this game Ultimate, keep adding fucking characters because you can.
No, yeah, I can
go into the game's code and you can add another character. It's not that difficult.
No, I can
anymore
only
with
imagine that they
DLC.
kind of had a plan to release also another character or really tease something, but we're still kind of in a pandemic still, so like we're still
in the
they probably don't
Ronas.
have everything planned out yet. Maybe in a couple of months.
It's just, well, they know who they are, they just didn't announce them.
Right.
They already said right off the bat that they know who every
exactly.
character is.
Which is also what puts everyone on edge for their top picks because we just know that they're sitting on this fighter's pass. That somewhere there is a list.
Like my problem, and this was even my problem between the fourth and fifth character that was announced, like between like Banjo Terry and
Banjo?
Byleth,
right.
it was that there was so much time between those two where it was kind of just like, just fucking tell me. And I'm starting to get that again where it's like, just fucking tell me. Like, because the hype, even though it's Smash Bros, the hype is waning.
Listen, also let's look at another fighter's pass that has been successful that doesn't entirely do that. Dragon Ball Fighters. They released like they revealed 2 characters within the span of like a week and a half.
Yeah.
And it was like, neat! But they weren't releasing at the same time. They were just revealed around the same time. And
Yeah.
that's okay.
Exactly.
You can have the wait between characters. You can be like, this is when this character comes out. And then and listen, we get it. If for some reason you have to delay the character's release because they're not done yet, we get it. But at least we'll know. Right? At least we'll know
because
what
that's
they
what
are.
that's what the anticipation is that we just want to know who's coming
We're
in.
not gonna lose the hype to play them because you announced them
Yeah.
already. We're gonna be more hyped, if anything, to play them because we'll
Hell.
be like, oh my god, let's say hypothetically, oh shit, Sora, I can't wait to see what his moveset is. You don't even have to fucking show us gameplay. That's what I'm saying. You can announce who they are and you don't even have to have gameplay.
Yeah.
We'll just be excited. We'll be able to theorize and not theorize about nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People have made up movesets for characters they want in the game, and then they will never get in the game for all intents and purposes, and then it just dies. And that's
Like, the
when shit
thing-
goes to south for Smash.
Like the perfect example is when they announced Banjo and Hero. Like Banjo and Hero didn't come out, I think, for like maybe like a month,
Right.
until like a month after, instead of like a few days.
Right.
So it's like, why can't you? People were still like hyped to play Banjo.
Right, exactly.
People were still hyped to play Hero. So like,
maybe they just don't have anything ready yet. They could just not have anything ready. They
that's
could
what
could not even have like the placements
well then,
ready.
then my argument is
they already
wait.
confirmed that they've
But
already
here's-
decided who's going to be in.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
here's-
mean like
here's-
just showing
Well,
like even then like
no, I
showing
know
it
what
all.
Phil's saying is like there's
Oh, you mean, like,
he
showing
knows
it
who
off, okay.
they know who they are, but there's like no trailer. Let's say.
Well,
I
here's the
see.
Yeah,
thing.
like there's
Here's
no
the
like
thing. Here's the thing about that. I said they don't even have to show us gameplay. I'll even just take an announcement. But here's the thing about that, let alone that, right? I understand that what we're looking at is they want to reveal the character alongside a promotional thing so that all around the company that lets them use that character is getting like
Benefit from it.
a benefit from it as well. Like if they announced Crash long before Crash 4, right? Crash would have the hype in Smash, and then he would only have the hype for Crash 4, which while big, would be bigger if, hey, here's Crash 4, and then let's say 2 weeks from now, new announcement, Crash and Smash. Like, it's like, hey, now we have Crash 4 and Crash and Smash, and everyone's benefiting. It's the same thing with Sora. Melody of Memory, hey, it's gonna come out this day, new announcement, Sora's and Smash, bam, both games get big receiving ends. I get that. There's a business factor to it. So I'm not going to blame everyone, but I'm sure there's characters in the roster that don't necessarily have a game that is coming out or have
But,
had
like,
a game come out that you could announce.
What I'm saying is that my argument is, if you had nothing prepared for, like, say, like when they wanted to announce Min Min, right? Why not? You have the power to just wait until you do.
Right.
Like, it's not like the Smash community was like, tell me now who the ARMS character is, Like, we were just kind of waiting until Nintendo said something.
Right, exactly.
Because the advantage of the next character being an ARMS character, as horrible as it is to say, no one was really hyped for it.
except for the people that played ARMS.
Yeah, like, the people that played ARMS were like, oh, but even then, the people who played ARMS, I feel like the vibe was more like, oh, cool, an ARMS character.
Sick.
Like, no one was like, holy shit, a character from ARMS?
Yeah, right. Like Min Min looks really fun, and that's good because I want her to be fun. Because I don't think ARMS necessarily did anything wrong. I just don't think it had the lasting energy of a franchise. Like, look at Splatoon. Splatoon released, and it was great. It had great lasting power. It got a sequel, and still has great. Like, I really want Splatoon 3, but ARMS just didn't have that same like energy. But it wasn't a bad game. It just didn't have the
It just was
it just
whatever.
didn't have the brand recognition, right? It wasn't an immediate like, holy shit, it's Spring Boy from ARMS.
Yeah.
Springman.
That and like
I don't
that
give
and
a
like
shit.
what
His name's
Nintendo needs to
Spring
understand, and it's honestly true, is that people honestly, unless it's like from a series that they haven't seen for a long time, people aren't really going to be hyped for a modern Nintendo character to be in Smash.
Right.
People aren't going to care as much. Like, people are going to care more if like an F-Zero character is announced rather than another fucking Fire Emblem character,
Right.
or like
Here,
or like You know what I
Right.
mean. You know what I
Right.
mean. You get what
my
I say.
My thing with it, right, is that like I was happy to see. I was okay with arms being revealed because it's a fighting game. I'm excited to.
It was almost like I can't believe that this hadn't happened
Exactly,
already.
right? Like, it's like, I am okay with this because because unlike the Fire Emblem characters, where they all end up more or less being close to the same in terms of style, anytime they do a new fighting game character, you're just excited to see how they implement their moves. Like, Ryu you can do your normal smash attacks, or you can use the combo moves from Street Fighter. Same thing goes for Terry. You can do some sick shit if you do the actual combos. And the same thing goes for Min Min. They programmed her to work like she did an arm. So A and B, respectively, control left and right arm. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's good. Because you can do some sick combos by doing, like, similar to the Ice Climbers, by that delay. You can do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're like, oh man, you're whooping them just because it's inventive of a fighting style, because that's what Smash brings to the table because of all these different characters that I don't think Nintendo fully realizes. They have probably one of the most, like, diverse fighting games, like, officially, because Mugen
Yeah.
exists, or Mugen, or whatever the fuck, however the fuck you pronounce it, but that's technically a fan thing, and it's
Yeah.
not, but like, Nintendo officially on the market has the most diverse fighting game, and yet they put like 6 Fire Emblem characters in.
I think
8 now, probably. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
even if Byleth does have a cool feature of switching weapons, you could have just given us
It's not enough.
given us Monster Hunter person. You could have made that deal,
Yeah.
and we would have been able to have different weapons from the Monster Hunter franchise.
Then, like, I don't know. I don't know about
Like-
you, because, like, I know that Fire Emblem is really big in Japan more than America.
Right.
But, like, it just feels so weird to me that Fire Emblem has as many reps as Mario, you know?
Yeah, like it's like, I get it. There's a big following. We have a lot of friends in our group that love Fire Emblem, and again, it has a bigger following in Japan. But there are other games from Nintendo that probably should have equal representation with Mario, aside from before Fire Emblem.
Like there's more Fire Emblem characters than Zelda. Like,
It really is insane. Granted, I'll give Zelda this. There really isn't too many characters I can see having great movesets.
Tetra.
They brought up freaking Breath of the Wild Link specifically, so they could have had somebody else from Breath of the Wild to come in.
Yeah.
Dude.
Hell, they could have had the fucking dude bro
Dude,
fish.
Brofish, yeah, dude. No, I actually don't like Breath of the Wild Link, but that's because they took away my grapple.
I kind of like Link solely for that purpose. Actually, I like his grab moves now.
I liked it better when it was Twilight Princess Link.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I liked having that moveset, but I guess since they brought back Young Link and he also had grapple, they just kind of didn't want 3 of the same moveset.
Also, like, you
I
know,
get it,
you
I
know
just
what
don't.
they also should take advantage of, if I'm to be honest? They should have a separate DLC pack for Echo Fighters.
They should. That's true.
Yeah.
Because they made such a big deal about Echo Fighters and then did nothing.
You know what's funny? They released Chrom, and they didn't. Did they? I don't think they called Chrom an Echo Fighter, did they?
No, he's
not. But he is.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even making an absurd exaggeration of like Fire Emblem characters are all the same. Like, no, he is like basically Roy, because I've played
Yeah.
Chrom.
Which Roy is basically Marth.
Exactly, Roy is basically Marth, but like even Roy has like different movesets and like hitboxes, but Chrom has essentially the same hitboxes as Roy.
No, yeah, no, Chrom is
Yeah.
Roy's Echo Fighter.
But they don't call him that.
No, they do.
They do
Like,
they?
yeah,
Do
100% they do. Like, if you,
Is he an
if you,
Echo Fighter?
Yeah, the 100%. Like, if you, like, you can set the Smash, like, character screen to have not the Echo Fighters there, and, like, switch between them, and Chrom is Roy's Echo Fighter.
Okay.
They are
okay,
slightly
then-
they are different in terms of like the Belmonts not being very different.
right, but it's the same thing as like Samus and Dark
Yeah.
Samus. So thank you for that.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Thank you.
So the philosophy is that Chrom is an Echo Fighter of Roy, and then Lucina is an Echo Fighter of Marth.
Because in her game, because in Awakening she came from the future as Marth in quotations, not knowing who she was.
Right, but also
I mean, she
let
just
alone
also
that,
plays like Marth too. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, yeah, technically Roy is like
Realistically,
like
realistically, the only thing I do have the grapes with are like, I understand that Simon was like our first like Castlevania game, and is the first in like the game series, like real life. But why wasn't Richter the character in Simon the Echo Fighter? Because literally all the moves that Simon does aren't even
Richter,
his, are just Richter's
yeah.
moves. Like they aren't like.
All right, that's fair, but you can't argue the fact that Simon is more of like an iconic figure of Castlevania than Richter. Like, unfortunately,
That's the thing though. They're both iconic though. Like they're both.
Yeah,
like,
but if you ask someone like on the street who just kind of has like a vague knowledge of Castlevania, you're more likely to be like, oh yeah, I know Simon Belmont than
That's
Richter
true.
Belmont.
Yeah,
You know?
I had no idea who Richter was, but I knew who Simon was.
That's crazy.
But I don't play the games.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
A handful of us.
That's
A
what I said
handful
earlier
of us
with
have
equal-
played Symphony of the Night and like Dracula
That's
X.
what I mean with.
And Ronduin.
That's what I mean with equal representation when it comes to recent characters. Like, there are people that don't know these franchises, but you can get them into the franchises with Smash. Like, I didn't get into Smash until Brawl
It's
because
funny-
Sonic was in Brawl. And it works vice versa.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Like hell, I probably wouldn't have played Persona 5 if Joker didn't make it into
It's
Smash.
funny
exactly.
too when you consider that Richter, I feel like, has more games than Simon. I'm pretty sure, right? It's
Does he?
Dracula X Chronicles, and there's another one. I forget
And
what
there's
it was. and then Symphony of the
Ronduin.
Night, Rondo of Blood. There we go.
Unless
and-
Dracula X Chronicles and Ronduin are the same game.
And he's
Oh, I
like-
didn't know that.
And like again, like I said, like imagine if they release Sora and then like the day or the same week of, they announce the story thus far for Kingdom Hearts on Switch, and it's like, oh my god, now everyone that is gonna play Sora in Smash is gonna maybe check out the collection of Kingdom Hearts games on the Switch. And it's like, there you go, everyone's in the, like, it's just an equal representation thing, and it goes the same for just in general with the characters. Like, I didn't know.
It's just my opinion is that like Smash announcements need to not be spread so thin.
Right, exactly.
Because like what I can see what they're trying to do is to be like, oh, wait for like the hype to die down and then put out another one.
Right.
But they wait too
It
long.
honestly would build the hype more if suddenly they're like, by the way, second announcement, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like-
If they did like the patented Nintendo Direct like one more thing.
Dude, that hits. Dude, look at Marvel. That's the entire succession of the MCU, because they did the post-credit scene, and whenever Nintendo did one more thing, and you got like, remember when an Ultimate was initially announced, and it's like one more thing, and then it's the Ink fighting, and then they look and the Smash logo hits, and you're like, oh fuck.
I remember I was at Five Towns when that was happening, and I was sitting next to Steve, and we were like, no fucking way.
Oh, dude, you should have heard me. I remember when I was in high school, right, before I joined GCN, and this will probably be my last thought, because we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, we're almost going on 3 hours.
Jesus fucking Christ. But I'm gonna wrap my thoughts up on this moment, on this memory. When I was in fucking high school, alright, I remember when I was talking to my old Skype friends that I used to be in a gaming group with before GCN. We were watching the E3, and then they were showing, Square Enix was showing a trailer for Kingdom Hearts, and we were like, oh man, what's this? And they showed all these clips from the games, and I'm like, oh, is it like a continuation, like another side? And then it was Kingdom Hearts 3, and I lost my fucking shit over Skype with my friends, and I went to shit. And yes, 7 years went by from that announcement. However, I lined up at GameStop, picked up my pre-ordered copy of Kingdom Hearts 3, sat there in the car with Jahan, also holding his copy of Kingdom Hearts 3, and going, I can't believe I'm holding this game physically in my hands. Alright? Hype doesn't just go away at a will, alright? If people want a thing, they're gonna be hyped for it. Doesn't matter how long it's been. Alright?
We're just waiting for Half-Life 3.
It'll get exactly.
No, yeah,
it'll
like,
get,
I've waited for things like video game wise.
it'll
like
get
Devil May Cry,
it'll
shit
get
like that.
dried out. It only gets dried out if you keep saying it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and nothing. The lucky thing with Square Enix and Kingdom Hearts 2 was that they didn't say it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. They released a trailer every like few years maybe, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. And it was like, okay, well, I'm still really hype about it. And it's the same thing for anything with anything hype related. the only time it will get tiring is if you keep telling us it's coming and it doesn't come. All right, that's it.
And that's advice to bring with you to the bed. Anyway.
Yeah,
I think
like,
that's
don't
we
say
use it
you're
for
coming
episode remake
when
and
you're
stuff
not.
Like that. Like we waited and waited and it
Exactly,
just
but that's-
it
that-
depends. It really
that's
just
my
depends
final
on how
thought.
the person are and how the people are,
People-
because and et
Right.
cetera.
Right, that's my final thought to leave
Yeah,
off
that's
on.
it's
is
let's
hype
get the fuck
doesn't-
let's get the fuck out of here.
hype doesn't go away.
It's tired.
Right?
It's tired. I'm tired. It's a long day.
It's tired. The whole podcast
I
is
mean,
tired.
a little
I'm
bit.
tired. You're tired. I'm not really that tired. You're tired. It's
Yeah,
bedtime.
so I hope I smashed my mic on the desk. I hope everyone hope you enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more of us on YouTube. I don't know if we're just on YouTube still, or I don't know if we're on Spotify yet, or if anything. I don't know how that works. Don't know how that works. I don't know like how uploading it works.
No.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that as
You
a,
need-
a no.
You
Take it as a
need
no.
you need to go through like a third party thing to get it on Spotify.
You gotta do what?
Yeah.
You gotta go through like a third party thing to go on
Oh, okay,
Spotify.
okay. So, yeah, we're just still on YouTube. You know, hit that like button if you enjoyed this, and subscribe if you want to see more of the podcast and more of our stupid bullshit as we usually do. And that's it for me. I don't know if we want to do any shameless plugins or just save that for next time because it's 12 o'clock and I'm very tired.
We have a Discord server now.
Yeah,
Join
Discord
that
server. Gang, gang,
Discord
gang.
server.
shit. Gucci gang,
Follow
Gucci
us
gang.
on Twitter.
And, yeah,
you can-
that's it. That's it. See you
Well,
guys
we'll have links in the
next
description.
time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Subscribe.
Bye.